Stand by. The program will begin soon.
Two-year investigation by the House Weaponization Committee uncovers a two-tiered system of government. Apparently, they put out a 17,000-page report on this. Through its oversight and investigations, the Select Committee found numerous instances of federal government being weaponized against the American people. For example, the Select Subcommittee highlighted censorship by big tech that led Mark Zuckerberg to admitting Facebook was pressured by the Biden-Harris White House to censor Americans, empowered whistleblowers to come forward and have their voices heard despite retaliation by the Department of Justice and the FBI. They protected the First Amendment, leading to the dissolution of the Global Alliance for Responsible Media, GARM, and other organizations that work to censor American speech. They revealed the weaponization of federal law enforcement against the American people, leading to important policy changes for the Department of Justice and the IRS, and uncovered evidence that Biden's campaign coordinated with 51 former intelligence officials to interfere in the American electoral system weeks before the 2020 presidential election by signing the statement calling Hunter Biden's laptop disinformation. So, is there a labor shortage? Ultimately, the entire need for H-1B workers is predicated on a supposed domestic worker shortage. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the current native-born American labor force participation is around 63%. Meanwhile, the foreign-born labor force participation is a stunning 68%. Importantly, per the Wall Street Journal, census data show immigrants who arrived since the start of 2020 are more than twice as likely to lack a high school diploma as U.S. 4 months, he beat not one but two Democratic opponents, swept all 7 swing states, and became the first Republican to win the popular vote in 20 years. He has realigned American politics, remaking the GOP and leaving the Democrats reckoning with what went awry. I'll tell you what went awry. They suck! Okay, moving on.
Did you know that since 1977, Congress has only passed the budget on time 4 times? The last time Congress passed a balanced budget was in 2001.
That was the
Did you know
Congress?
That over the last 6 years, Congress hasn't passed an appropriations bill on time once? In fact, we have had 17 continuing resolutions in the last 6 years.
6 years.
And since Biden has taken office, we have had over 11 omnibuses pushed through. Congress has only passed a balanced budget 4 times ever, meaning we didn't have a surplus or a deficit.
The mainstream has become fringe, and the fringe has become mainstream. There are platforms, there are people out there that are getting 14 million streams, and we're on cable news getting 1 or 2 million. And so there's
not on CNN.
the whole world out there. Kellyanne Conway, I hate to agree with her, but I do a lot of times. Donald Trump understood that.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday Q&A, and let's, the first question today is from our friend Avocado Diablo, who says, have you ever woke up half naked except for a pair of lace panties, a Foot Locker's employee's ref jersey, and a pirate's eye patch stuck in the slide of a children's playground? AD? I'm becoming concerned. I'm becoming concerned. I would love to hear that story, though. Just out of curiosity, I don't know if I really want to hear that story, but no, I haven't. I feel very discouraged to see many influencers turning on some of our biggest fighters in Congress. Instead of going after the 38 who stand on principle and not raise the debt ceiling, but also didn't support the continuing resolution, why are they going after the people like Republican Congressman Greg Murphy, North Carolina 3, who was for the original continuing resolution? Or why not just go after the Democrats who are responsible for this entire mess? Why eat our own strong conservatives, especially over something like the debt ceiling, when no one really wants it raised in the long run? Even if the 38 had voted yes on the American Relief Act, it still wouldn't have passed. So what is the end goal here? To get rid of strong conservatives because we don't 100% agree all the time?
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
House report recommends FBI investigation into Liz Cheney over alleged witness tampering while on the J6 committee. So there's this seems to be blowing up in Liz Cheney's face as opposed to getting shot with birdshot by her dad. Here's another one. Taxpayers fund a disinformation index, but the real fake news is that it's useful. The Department of State wasted $330,000 to fund censorship of non-liberal and conservative media. Historically, the largest purveyor of disinformation is the U.S. government, without question. And now, once again, the government has decided to position itself as the ultimate judge of what is true and what is not. Do you think there exists an animal whose shit is actually super delicious? Oh my God. It would have to be some sort of seafood. I don't know. Avocado salad, what would you consider to be the most disconcerting thing about one could see in the toilet after you got done going to the bathroom? Only things that come from inside you count. Well, I think a 14-foot tapeworm would be kind of disconcerting. You'd be like, what the heck? That was inside of me. Okay. Lord Stanham asks, which member of Congress would you like to catch leprosy? You can name as many as you'd like. Well, let me just start with Jamie Raskin. And Adam Schiff. That's enough. This is lightning round. Avocado Diaby says, why is it that Nancy Mace is the only woman in Congress that does not sound like one of the teachers from Peanuts to me when she speaks? Maybe it's because she's from the South, although her accent is not that pronounced. Somnambule Nation, is this the penultimate? Is this the last question? No, it's not. Lord Stanhope, will you have a Merry Christmas? Melancholy. We already explained that earlier. Select a boy who on The Simpsons has a plan that's good on paper but horrible in execution. Oh, obviously Homer. How many of you remember the name Crystal Magnum? Crystal Magnum. Does that name ring a bell? Anybody? Crystal Magnum. Now, even if you don't know that name, you know. It sounds like a stripper name, doesn't it? Crystal Magnum? That sounds like a stripper name or a porn star name or something like that, right? Well, here's an update in the story of Crystal Magnum. Congress members haven't even received the text yet. The deadline is Friday. This is utter insanity. That is... I don't know if I could be any less accurate or more accurate. I don't know. Congress has last passed a real budget in 1997. Since then, Congress has typically relied on continuing resolutions or omnibus spending bills to fund the government. There should be 12 different funding bills, I guess, normally, and they're doing an omnibus bill. They just put it all on paper the last minute, and then just pass it because they want to go home for Christmas. Well, F that shit. So people are saying shut it down. They've typically relied on continuing resolutions or omnibus spending bills to fund the government rather than completing the full budget process as intended by the 1974 Congressional Budget
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been. You know?
What can be unburdened by what has been? What can be unburdened by what has been?
What can be unburdened by what has been?
What can be unburdened by what has been?
What we can see, what we believe can be unburdened by what
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Night.
Oh, yeah. Are you feeling it? I'm not, but I'm feeling better, and that's a good thing. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Night on the internet. And welcome back to the P-Dog Night channel, where I decided I'm not going to shout today. I'm just going to have the microphone closer so I can hear myself. How you doing? Happy, what's the day? I don't even know what day it is. I've been sick so long. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. The 8th of January, 2025. I'm getting that right now. Got my water because I'm not ready to drink coffee yet. You know, when liquid comes out of all of your orifices for a few days, you don't think you should have anything that could constrict your bowels like caffeine. So that was a little too much information now, wasn't it? Anyway, I hope you're having a wonderful day, wonderful week. I woke up this morning actually feeling better. Haven't had any incidents for at least since yesterday, about, I don't know, 2:00. So everything's good. Fever's kind of gone. Got some rest. Actually slept in today. Just took one more day off of work because Lady Boomer said it's probably still contagious, so it's better not to take any chances with your workmates. And so, yeah, I feel pretty good today. I'm starting late because I slept in, and which is unusual for me. And so this show will go probably far beyond the normal reach because I got a lot of tabs open, and I have no reason to stop doing them because I have this day off. I took the day off everywhere. So lucky you, right? Hey, ha ha, yes, and happy hump day. I already said that, but I like saying that. It's funny. So let's say hi to everybody and get this thing going. Yes, California's on fire. I'm concerned. I got to call. Well, it's not in that part of Los Angeles. Probably call my sister or my mother because I'm always concerned. But I know it's far from them for now. Hopefully it'll stay far from them, but we'll see. So anyway, let's say hi to everybody and get this thing going. First in the chat, of course, Mr. Avocados Diablo gets the bell. And eventually the bell. How you doing? Also, and damn it, that song. Every time I go back up to the top and that song's in my head now. Here. In fact, here, let me put a dance move to it. Oops, upside your head, said oops, upside your head. Oops, upside your head, said oops, upside your head. That's fun! It's never going to go away, AD. You did it. Yep. Oops, upside your head. Said oops, upside your head. Oops, upside your head. Said oops, upside your head. Stop. Also, good morning, Selecta Boy. Yeah, and boy. Mike Savage, Blarg. Lord Stanhope's in the house. Anon, 1, 2, 3. Don Julio, Commandant of Trash. Also, good morning. I said Selecta Boy. Who else is here? Here we go. Aaron Meredith's in the house. Attack Alpaca. Good morning. Oh, there we go. My other favorite Canadian, Unacceptable Views, is here. Boneheaded Dumbass, good morning. Jackals Freudstein, GSOB, what's up? Good morning also to Reaction Puerto Rico, you lovely island. Says there's 22 people here, but that's not 22 people I rattled off. So if you are here and you haven't said anything yet, just say something in chat and I can say hi to you. I appreciate it. My job is done. Yes, oops, upside your head. Oops, upside your head. Said oops, upside your head. I'm going to say that between every segment today. No, I'm not. That'd be annoying as hell. So anyway, lots of stuff going on. There is some breaking news that come out just about an hour ago. You know, there's a little battle about what Jack Smith's going to say to the world about his escapades chasing down the guy with the funny hair. And so I saw this breaking news from the AP. I'll just drop out a link of it today. Here we go. Justice Department says it plans to release only part of the special counsel's Trump report for now, because they got to make sure it's very important for them to get as much bad smearing stuff they can on Trump as they can, because they want to try to limit what he can do. And probably I wouldn't be surprised if Adam Schiff wasn't going to try to get the House to impeach him again, but that ain't going to happen. Here it is. This is just as of a couple hours ago. No, just an hour ago, Central Time. Not even an hour ago, 9:41. This is 20 minutes old, 40 minutes old, whatever. The Justice Department said Wednesday that it will release Special Counsel Jack Smith's findings on Donald Trump's effort to undo the results of the 2020 presidential election, but will keep it under wraps for now, The rest of the report focused on the president-elect's hoarding. I love how they write this. Hoarding of classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago estate. Now, the funny thing about this, because when they took all these pictures of all these boxes and stuff, y'all realize that those dozens of boxes and stuff, those weren't all classified stuff, right? They just had a few handful of stuff that they laid out on the floor, and they messed up. First of all, the FBI messed up the crime scene, as far as so to speak, because they're supposed to keep everything as it was and make it so that they could put it back exactly as it was. But when they did that little display of the classified stuff on the floor with the cover sheet and stuff, that's not how they found it. All that stuff was in boxes. They laid it out and brought their own cover sheets and placed them in with it, and they contaminated their own scene. So that's one problem with their whole thing. Plus the fact that the judge in that case says Jack Smith was not properly appointed, but that's a whole nother thing. Anyway, the revelation was made in a filing to a federal appeals court that was considering a defense request to block the release of the 2-volume report, while charges remain pending against 2 Trump co-defendants in the Florida case, accusing the Republican former president and current president-elect of illegally holding classified documents. Eileen Cannon, the Trump-appointed judge presiding over the classified documents case, granted the request Tuesday, issuing a temporary block on the report. The Justice Department said it would proceed with the plans to release the first of 2 volumes centered on the election interference case. But now here's another problem with this too. So now that this isn't going through a court, Trump can't defend himself. They just can put whatever they want. This is not like it's gone to a trial. I would say, the fact that the special counsel was not appointed properly is a major problem. But whatever, we'll get there. Good morning, Jaeger Pony, by the way, my favorite Canadian. Not to say that my other favorite Canadians are not just as favorite as my favorite Canadian, but it's my favorite Canadian. You know what I mean? Anyway, so here we go. Let's go back on this. The Justice Department said it would receive plans to release the first of 2 volumes centered on the election interference case, but would make the classified documents section of the report available only to the chairman and ranking members of the House and Senate Judiciary Committees for their private review, as long as the case against Trump's co-defendants, Trump valet Walton Nada and Mar-a-Lago property manager Carlos de Oliveira, was ongoing. Now, it's amazing to me that they would even try to go on with these cases on the documents case when, they don't continue the case for Joe Biden, Tim taking stuff when he was in the Senate or when he was vice president. We had no authority to take any classified documents. They certainly didn't pursue Hillary Rodham Clinton. I am not sad. Hillary Rodham Clinton, when she had classified information on a server that was unsecured, and clearly, Judge, what's his name, Comey said she had it all, but they're not going to pursue it, right? They're not going to pursue Hillary Clinton, no. But they're still going to push this case. I bet you're going to try to. Well, it depends on who's president next time after Donald Trump, if they're going to try to pursue this case. Anyway, they said this limited disclosure will further the public interest in keeping congressional leadership apprised of the significant matter within the department while safeguarding the defendant's interests, the filing said. Now, the other part of this, let's get an over and under. Let's get an over and under right now, because I'm not. You can read the rest of this yourself. Let's get an over and under right now, because they say they're going to release everything to the department heads, the Senate leadership, the House leadership, whatever. How long, let's go with months. How long before the documents case information that they will be sharing with the leadership of the House and Senate, how long will it be before those things get leaked? Put your estimate in months. We'll remember this 12 days episode is when we did the estimate. How many months before this stuff is leaked? Hello, JB. Good morning, sir. AD says it'll be leaked in 10 minutes. It's going to be leaked so fast. Yeah, it may be before it even gets to them. Who knows? And if they have been leaked already, yeah, I'm shocked. I'm giving you months. Okay, so AD, your answer is 1 month. Within 1 month. Anyway, so that's the breaking news right now. Also, apparently, there's an article in Mediaite, and this is funny. Biden tells interviewer he would have beaten Trump based on polling. Hello, Woodcutter. What's up? This is also now. This is an unplanned article too. Let's see this. Biden tells interview. Okay, here it is. President Joe Biden insisted in a new interview that he would have beaten President-elect Donald Trump, but he also admitted he's not sure he would have had the vigor to make it through another 4 years in the White House. Oh, really? Really? Good God. Speaking with Susan Page for USA Today in an interview published on Wednesday, Biden was asked if he could have won re-election. He said yes, arguing in favor of his own candidacy based on polling he reviewed. What polling was he reviewing? He didn't look good at any of the polls, and he certainly didn't look good on live television. I would have loved to see the second debate. Mr. Confused himself. There's no way. There's no way. Page herself noted that many analysts doubt Biden would have won another term, and his short re-election bid before he dropped out and endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris raised a number of questions about his fitness, even to hold office at 82 years old. So anyway, clearly Biden is completely delusional, and it's not even close. It's not even close. Let's see if there's any other breaking stuff before I head into the regular show today. Normally I don't do this, but every morning when I start the show and then I go click a new X link, there's always some new shit up here. Oh boy, and Elizabeth Warren. We're going to talk about her a little bit later. She just tweeted, well, this is yesterday, saying, I have serious concerns about Pete Hegseth's background, including his mismanagement of nonprofit organizations, accusations of sexual assault and drinking problems, blatant disregard for the contributions of female service members, and support for war crimes and torture. What? Well, okay, we're gonna get to the letter she wrote later. That's much later though, because we got a lot to go through. What is this? Hello. Why? Wait a minute. They keep posting this video. Let's see what this is. I've never seen or been to a Buc-ee's. Anyone know what Buc-ee's is? Is that what it's called? Buc-ee's? They're like these super convenience stores. I don't know what part of the country they're in. What are the ones in Pennsylvania? Is Gunfox here? Anyone from Pennsylvania, around Pennsylvania here? The big, is it Wawa? Isn't Buc-ee's like a Wawa? It's like a giant gas station convenience store with all kinds of stuff. The only equivalent I can think of when you're going through, they're kind of like almost like truck stops, right? The world's best gas station. Okay, well, here's someone talking about Buc-ee's, and a lot of people are posting this video, so I'm going to find out why, and I'm sure this will please, well, maybe it'll please AD or not. I don't know. This may not be AD's style, but oh, well, now there's blew it up. Well, we'll see. Let's see what this lady's saying about Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's. It's less a gas station and more a theme park for people who think beef jerky is a food group.
It is. Whoa. No, you lost me already. Beef jerky is a food group. What are you talking about? Hello, cannibalistic wizard. How you doing? And Shrapnel and Anna Lynn are in the house. And I already said woodcutters. So, people are strolling in. Hit the damn like button, by the way. What do you mean? Beef jerky is a food group. It is a food group. Holy moly, Henny.
At Buc-ee's, you disembark. The parking lot is larger than most airports, with rows of pumps all full, like it's Black Friday for unleaded. Mm-hmm. It's where you'll find lifted trucks, RVs the size of starter homes, and at least one guy filling up a 5-gallon...
Buc-ee's are in the South, aren't they? That's got to be Southern.
Gas can who absolutely should not be operating machinery.
Oh, come on
Upon
now.
stepping inside, it appears as though Walmart had a baby with Bass Pro Shop and then raised it in a Texas Roadhouse.
Yes, that's...
And Buc-ee's doesn't sell snacks.
I like it already.
They sell impulse control issues. You walk in for water and leave with a brisket sandwich, 2 pounds of fudge, and a bag of beaver nuggets, which are basically diabetes in nugget form. I don't know what's in beaver nuggets, but I'm positive it's illegal.
I know what's in beaver nuggets.
In 7 states. They taste like caramel, childhood, and a root canal waiting to happen.
Wait, what? Wait. She said they taste like what?
States. They taste like caramel, childhood, and a root canal waiting to happen.
Is that good or bad? Is that good or bad? I don't even know. Is that good or bad? It tastes like caramel, childhood, and a root canal. Okay. I like it.
You eat when you've completely given up on life, but still want to enjoy it.
Okay.
And then there's the bathrooms. These aren't just bathrooms. They're cleaner than most hospitals and twice as private.
Hey,
you walk in expecting
like
gas station horror. A broken lock and a crackhead washing their socks in the sink, and instead, you're in a day spa for your ass. The stalls have floor-to-ceiling doors. You could file your taxes in there. You could take a Zoom meeting. Hell, you could die in one of those stalls and the janitor would bless your body before they mopped around it. It's the first bathroom in history where you can shit yourself and still feel respected.
Okay, now, here's the thing. Is she trying to make it sound bad or sound good? We need to get some Buc-ee's up here in Minnesota. I'm just saying.
And just when you think...
Although we have Casey's General Stores now, and they have really good pizza, so I'm just saying.
You're done, you walk out and realize Buc-ee's has merch. Not just a t-shirt or a hat. Buc-ee's has turned their beaver logo into a family crest.
All right,
they sell pajamas, blankets...
Oh, that's why they call them beaver nuggets, because they're Buc-ee's like a bucktooth thing, right? Is that it? I don't even know, because I've heard of Buc-ee's, but I've never seen one. So is it because it's okay? Oh, good morning, Tire. Alexander. The Scourge. What up, buddy? Brother. Okay, more Buc-ee's.
It's pet beds and onesies for babies. Because nothing says we make bold choices in this family like dressing your infant as a gas station mascot.
Right
It's
on.
not a pit stop. It's rehab for people addicted to barbecue. You don't just leave Buc-ee's.
You don't need rehab if you're addicted to barbecue. What's wrong? See, she messed it up twice. She said, if you think beef jerky is a food group, it is. And what did she say? Rehab for someone. No one who loves barbecue needs rehab. Sorry, honey. You had me in the bathrooms, but now you convinced me I got to go to Buc-ee's.
You emerge, slightly fatter, noticeably happier, and absolutely ready to do it all again.
Hell yes. Okay, I got to go to a Buc-ee's now. I got to find me a Buc-ee's. I'm just saying. I don't know if I can live without a Buc-ee's much longer. All right, is there anything else? Do you want, I'll put that as, that's a cute message, and I'm going to put that in the links today too, just for the hell of it, because, I don't know why. If you want to see that again, or you want to find it again and send it to somebody you know who has been to a Buc-ee's. There you go. That's what you can do. All right, is there anything else I needed to see here that's, oh no! Oh, Don Lemon. Oh, Don Lemon's bitching. So you heard about the senator's husband who didn't shake hands with Kamala, and they're just bitching about it. They're claiming that he didn't shake hands with Kamala Harris because he's racist. I just like, maybe he just didn't shake hands with her because he didn't like her, or maybe it was the fact that he had a Bible in one hand and a cane in the other hand. But Don Lemon decided to make a video about this because, you know, there's only one reason. There's only one reason why. Wait, what the hell? Why is this? Okay, here he goes. He's going to say, watch this bullshit. Now, of course, it's from the angle where you can't see the cane. Hello, John. What's up? Don's on the rag. John, are you new? Or is that John Arnott? I don't know, but welcome to the show if you've never been here before. Hit the subscribe button while you're sitting there, though. Here's Don Lemon, the biggest bitch on the planet.
Watch this bullshit.
Okay, yeah, you mean the cane in his hand? And he said thank you? And he seems to be having a little dementia.
F you old racist piece of shit.
Oh, cute Don. Aw, Don Lemon's up and happy. Poor Don. I don't know if that had... Everyone made a big deal out of that yesterday, and that was... And it's funny, the thing is, that's the senator's husband. It's not even the senator. His hands, he had a Bible in his left hand, and he's holding a cane, stand up. Now, it's interesting. People started digging up videos of past times when she was sworn in for her term in the Senate, when he did shake hands with the people, like in 2012, I think. And the problem was he didn't have a cane then. And when he walked in this one, I think keep showing just that part of it. He looks like he might have a little bit of dementia himself because he was walking awfully damn slowly in there. And so who knows? I don't really care. I don't care. So let's move on to the news today. Lots of things happening. Let's start with, oh, wait, what happened here? This got out of order. Oh, I see what happened. By the way, if you notice, did nobody... Okay, did anyone retweet the show today? I don't even know. Somnambule Nation, where are you? You're not here today. Or are you? You were here. What happened? Anyway, thanks to people who got me a let's go. Oh, my God. Reaction Puerto Rico with the let's go with the world on fire. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. And also someone named Dusty Det, I don't know who that is, liked it, but where are y'all retweeting the show today? Who shared the stream today? I got Reaction Puerto Rico and then someone named Diane Rose. Are you here, Diane Rose? I hope you are here. You can still do it. You can still, here, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. I'm going to put this in, I'm going to link this right now. Let's copy the link. I'm going to put it in the chat, and I need all of you click this link and go in there and say, let's go, with a GIF or peanut butter or something, and or a meme, or just type let's go, but reply to the damn tweet. Here, there it is. I'm not even going to label it. It's just, see that link? Click that link, go into a new tab, and reply, let's go. It helps. Every little bit helps, okay? You know what I mean? Thank you for those who've already done it, though. I appreciate you, you know. In fact, look, there's Mike Savage. See, thank you, Mike Savage. And all you got to do, or just retweet it. That's all I care about. A lot of likes, but no one's hitting the retweet button. Who is this? Ayla Jack. I don't know who that is. There's a lot of people liking it without doing anything. You know what I'm saying? All right. Anyway, let's go. All right, let's start the show. Today is hump day. Why is there another tab? I didn't open another tab. God bless America. What is this? Thank you, Tyre. There we go. Now some people are doing it. Look, see, Tyre with a let's go. Woo! That's how it's supposed to be done. P-Dog was crying, so I retweeted the show to cheer him up. Okay, Midnight. I'm not crying. I'm just annoyed. I'm annoyed. I need your help. Okay, whatever. Okay, let's see. Let me get to the right link here. There's that. God bless America. Okay, it is hump day. And this is... If you know, you know. Happy hump day, everybody. Now let's see what this one here. Oh, no, I don't need that. My fear is that might be some body parts. But anyway, if you know, you know. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Good enough. All right, that's enough about Hump Day. Let's get to the next one. Oh, Elvis Presley is trending. Now, why is Elvis Presley trending? No, not because people think that Elvis Presley is Donald Trump, but because it's Elvis Presley's birthday. Happy birthday to the king of rock and roll. Stole everything he knows. He would have been 90 years old today. And he's going to win this race. Lemonade, that cool, refreshing drink. That's as close as I can do to an Eddie Murphy imitating Elvis Presley. Yeah, the king, so-called, of rock and roll, would have been 90 years old today. This is footage from his last concert, which I believe happened in Lincoln, Nebraska. I remember he died not long after he was in my home state. And in 1977, had probably some due to some drug stuff or something, but he ended his life on a toilet or something. That's what they say. Anyway, happy 90th birthday to Elvis Aaron Presley. It is also David Bowie's birthday. David Bowie turns 77 today. I guess it's a musician birthday day. The greatest chameleon in rock and roll history. Put out a lot of good music, especially in his stuff in the 80s. I liked a lot. But of course, and then also the classic song that what's the movie? Mr. Deeds. Mr. Deeds. They did a rendition of Major Tom while they were riding on the helicopter in the movie Mr. Deeds, a great Adam Sandler movie. Wait, that's kind of an oxymoron. It was an Adam Sandler movie. I enjoy some Adam Sandler movies, but not everybody thinks they're quality cinema. All right, enough about that. John Fetterman's trending. And John Fetterman's trending because he's pissing off lefties again. I don't know, man. John Fetterman, when he was running for the Senate, I didn't know what to think about him. But I'm learning to enjoy John Fetterman's more and more, even though I don't disagree with a lot of his Democrat stuff, but at least he's a reasonable man. I think we need more men like John Fetterman on both sides of the aisle in our Congress and the United States Senate, where they actually listen to each other and say, oh, wait, maybe this might be a good idea. So anyway, John Fetterman is saying that if Democrats can't get 7 votes in the Senate to pass the Lake and Riley Act, then that's the reason why we lost. If you're here illegally and you're committing crimes, I don't know why anybody thinks that's controversial, that they all need to go. So here he is talking on Fox News, everyone on the kryptonite for most Democrats. Here's John Fetterman.
Like, it's really common sense. And I'd like to remind everybody that we have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of migrants here illegally that have convicted of crimes. And why, I don't know why, who wants to defend, to allow them to remain in our nation? That. And now, if you're here illegally and you're committing crimes and those things, I don't know why anybody thinks that it's controversial that they all need to go.
Do you think that this was one of, if not the biggest issue for this election?
Well, I think if we can't, there's 47 of us in the Senate, and if we can't pull up with 7 votes, if we can't get at least 7 out of 47, and if we can't, then that's the reason why we lost. That's one of them. That's one of why we lost, in part.
Damn!
Brett, if you think about that, I mean, that's what he said.
God damn, he's calling out his fellow Democrat senators. So anyway, there's an article about it here in the Daily Wire. Fetterman signals he's voting for Trump, and also he's going to vote for some of Trump's nominees, and that's pissing people off too. He said that's the way it works. And is there a video? Let's see. Here's the other part of this video.
Senator Fetterman, you've met with a number of nominees already. You've suggested...
just did one of your former colleagues here just about 3 hours ago.
Is that right?
Sean Duffy, actually.
Oh, Sean Duffy.
Yeah.
Senator Warner, the chair of the, co-chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, met with Tulsi Gabbard. He said he had a session with Ms. Gabbard. He went on with a lot of questions. He's still got a lot of questions, and that we have to do a process, a beginning of a process, suggesting that there's a long way to go. Is this Tulsi Gabbard one of the nominees that you could vote for?
Well, I met with her. In fact, I think I've met with virtually all of them, and the ones that I haven't, they're on my schedule, RFK and Governor Noem. So I'm happy to meet with all of them. And that's also part of this. I don't know why that was controversial. I mean, I got a lot of blowback just even to meet with them. And to me, I see that as just doing my job. And I'm going to have a conversation
with flag tattoo. I don't know.
Anyone that would like to have a conversation with me. And if someone believed everything that's been written or said about me was true, I mean, you can't possibly know me, or I think I could know her either, just based on someone read. But I want to sit down and have a conversation, and I'm really glad that I've done that. And some of these nominees I'm going to vote for already. In fact, whether it's our colleague Rubio, or
notice he didn't answer the Tulsi Gabbard,
or even Sean Duffy. I expect to vote for him as well too, and Brooke Rollins for agriculture.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of them I can say right now here on Fox. I'm going to vote for them. But there's others, but that we're going to go through the process. But I'm open to hear from everyone. And I don't know why
he didn't answer the question, though.
He didn't answer the question. Like to remind everyone on the Democratic side, that's the way.
I don't think he wanted to piss people off too much by saying he's going to vote for Gabbard. But I don't know on these confirmations. Someone tell me if I'm wrong. On the confirmation process, is this one of the ones that they can't filibuster, or can they filibuster the nominations for appointments? I know they can't for judges anymore, thanks to who is that? Harry Reid, that guy. Remember him when he kind of changed the rules, and so now that's why they can't filibuster Supreme Court just nominees. But anyway, so Fetterman has them all kind of in their feelings about that. Another one here. Also, Fetterman talked about Greenland because Donald Trump's been on this Greenland, Canada, Gulf of America kick, if you haven't been paying attention. We may get to that. But anyway, Fetterman on talks of U.S. acquiring Greenland, saying responsible conversation to have. What? Everyone else is making fun of this shit. And here's John Fetterman saying, well, Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania described recent talks about the United States acquiring Greenland as being responsible conversation. During an interview on Fox News on Tuesday, Fetterman admitted that while he would never support taking Greenland by force, it would be a responsible conversation to talk about acquiring Greenland from Denmark, including buying it outright. Fetterman's words come after President-elect Donald Trump had previously stated that the U.S. taking ownership of Greenland is an absolute necessity for national security and freedom. What? And I'm not even sure why he says. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they can think about putting bases on Greenland. I don't know. Greenland's a frozen wasteland. Anyway, but if the climate keeps changing, Greenland could be a nice set of, mound of farmland out there. So anyway, Fetterman, there's a lot of talk about Greenland, for example, and I know there's a lot of freakouts. And of course, I would never support taking it by force, Fetterman said, but I do think it's a responsible conversation if they were open to acquiring it, whether just buying it outright. So I'm not going to play that video, but Fetterman's pissing off everybody on the left with all this talk. All right, let's move on. Who's next? The term 47% of Americans is trending. And I go into this to see what the hell this is about. And apparently somewhere it says 47, maybe there was a report, 47% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, because everyone keeps writing the same phrase, 47% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck. Everyone has the same phrase as you see it over and over. 47% of Americans. And now they're saying 47. Oh my God. So these people are ripping on people who voted for Trump using this phrase. So here's this. So this guy, Dean Withers? I don't know who this guy is. Apparently renaming water is more important than addressing the 47% of Americans who live paycheck to paycheck. Remember, Republicans, you voted for this, who tried to warn you, because Donald Trump's talking about stuff that has nothing to do with economics right now. Donald Trump's not the damn president yet. And you haven't, wait till, I'm sure there's a big legislative agenda that's coming out. But what he's talking about right now, I don't know what he's talking about right now, but it always comes back to bite Democrats in the ass when they say stupid shit like this, because Donald Trump always comes up with something. And the Take Back Panama, that too. That's I don't know if that's serious or not. But somebody says, this guy replies to Dean Withers, why are 47% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck? Dean, Your president, vice president assured us that Bidenomics is working. Was that a lie? You tell us that Trump will inherit a roaring economy? Is that just a load of crap? Please tell us. Oh, yes, wise 20-year-old. I guess Dean's 20 years old. That's a good point, but I think the other part is I think a lot of people just live paycheck to paycheck because they live above their means a little bit or just live at the edge of their means. And especially younger people. It's of course they do. But do they always live paycheck to paycheck? Like forever? I don't know. I don't know if that's it. I mean, I know I kind of do. We have, we don't have a ton of savings, but we're old. We want to leave. We're gonna go out, doing stuff we like to do, and as long as we can. So it's just a choice. Not everyone has to live paycheck. Everyone could live in a smaller residence, eat less expensive food at home, could have less expensive entertainment, and not buy all the gadgets. Okay, and you wouldn't live paycheck to paycheck. But people like doing shit, and that's kind of how people are. I don't think that. I don't know if that's a good metric for anything, because they're just people who do it. So. But anyway, other people here, let's see. I guess this is, they're replying to this Dean guy. Oh, I see what it is. So this Dean Withers, and who is Dean Withers, and why is everyone replying? He has 360,000 followers. Modern American patriot and Democrat, streamed daily on TikTok, 2+ million followers. Oh, I see. So apparently this guy is a big deal. Let me see if I can find this guy. Let's see who this guy is. I've never heard of him. Of course, is he one of the he's one of the he's like Harry Sisson and that other little jagoff guy. Anyway, so he puts 47 million people are living paycheck to paycheck. And we're talking about water. So here it is. People replied to him, Biden is the president. Why isn't he addressing the 47% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck? Someone here, Timothy Clark. Let me rephrase that for you. Apparently focusing 4 years of political power on bringing mass illegals into our country and using the Justice Department to prosecute your political opponent is more important than addressing 47% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck. Okay. Here's another one. If 47% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, it's because the Biden administration has failed us. That problem will be fixed in 12 days. Well, we'll hope so. Now, but other people are saying 47% of Americans don't think. No doubt, MAGA now cult to brainwash people who now think that good people are bad and evil people are cool, lies are true, science is fake, magic is real, abusing those weak and you is strength, love is weak, hate is power. Shut the fuck up. 47% of Americans think Jesus was white. No. Jesus was from the Middle East, dummy. 47% of Americans think they are real Americans. Like Jay, what's that dude? Jay Silverheels. That was the teary guy from the garbage commercial. He played not Jay Silverheels. That's the guy who was Tano. The dude that what was his name? Anyway, the don't pollute Indian guy. They had the tear when they found out he was 100% Sicilian, which is pretty funny. 47% of Americans may have missed the 44 years of Republican trickle-down millionaire tax cuts that have gutted the middle class and created the widest wealth disparity since the Gilded Age. This issue didn't start yesterday. Yeah, no, that's not the problem, because the standard of living has risen so much in our society. And I gotta be honest with you, what do they say? How much have greed grabbed the top 1% cost U.S. workers since 1997? It doesn't cost U.S. workers anything. People voluntarily use their money for whatever they do. Just because someone else's net worth goes up doesn't mean your net worth goes down. You decide how you live your life. What the oh my God, these people are stupid. Anyway, so that's why 47%. Oh, you can't even see what I'm putting on this damn screen. This is all it right here. This is all the stuff right here. It's in the links. You'll see it anyway. All right, moving on. Other things trending. California. Let's talk about California for a while. There's some nasty fires going on in California, and it's really sad. Some of the things trending because of this have me scratching my head, and especially that one right there. the karma one. It's kind of pisses me off as I'm watching people, because I don't care who is affected by it. This is awful, and you shouldn't be cheering anybody, but some people are laughing at some people. We'll get to it. Anyway, 30,000 LA residents and celebrities flee as Pacific Palisades fire worsens. Screaming residents abandon cars, creating hurdles for firefighters. Now, I saw a video yesterday. If you're familiar with the actor Steven Guttenberg, there was a video of someone talking to him, and he's like, people, if you leave your cars, leave your keys in them so people can move them. But he's talking to this guy interviewing him, and they're talking about, they're just trying to get some of this stuff out of the way and get people, so they can get, emergency vehicles in and whatnot. And then the interview is like, wait a minute. And then he says, like, what's your name? It's Steve Guttenberg. And they keep interviewing for a minute. And he goes, wait a minute. Steve Guttenberg, the actor? Yeah, he's there helping clear area and rescue stuff, so people are actually doing their shit. So anyway, some 30,000 Los Angeles residents, including celebrities, have been ordered. Just listen to how that sentence reads. Some 30,000 Los Angeles residents, including celebrities, like, yeah, everybody who's in the path of the fire, who cares if they're celebrities, if it's a fire, have been ordered to evacuate their homes as wildfire engulfs the ritzy Pacific Palisades, while another destructive blaze erupted hours later in nearby Altadena on Tuesday night. California Governor Gavin Newsom declared a state of emergency after touching down in the Pacific Palisades area, meeting with first responders fighting the blaze that has so far torched more than 2,900 acres, 4.5 square miles, according to CAL FIRE. By no stretch of the imagination are we out of the woods, Newsom warned, as winds of up to 100 miles an hour is expected to increase overnight across the Tony Enclave, including regions that are abnormally dry, according to U.S. Drought Monitor. Newsom noted that he found not a few, many structures already destroyed. That sentence didn't make any sense. And then they're just showing lots of pictures here. Tens of thousands have evacuated the county, including Emmy Award-winning actor James Wood, whose neighbor lost their home, he said on an X, after he fled. Some residents even fled on foot after ditching their cars in the street, inadvertently creating obstacles but for firefighters trying to battle the blaze. We look across, and the fire had jumped from one side of the road to the other, Kelsey Trainer said. People are getting out of the cars with their dogs and babies and bags, and they were crying and screaming. The road was just blocked, like full-on blocked for an hour. Another resident, Will Adams, said embers flew into his wife's car as she tried to escape. She vacated her car and left running, Adams said, adding that she and many other locals walked down toward the ocean until it was safe. While the bravest brainstormed to find a way through the streets that had quickly turned into parking lots, a bulldozer was brought to help push cars aside while Police Academy star Steve Guttenberg came out of the blue to help drive abandoned vehicles off the road. Is this here's some of the video. Is this video? Cedar Care evacuees loaded into ambulances escape. We get the idea. Let's see. Here's a bulldozer bulldozing cars out of the way.
Yeah, I want to take you here live right now. So this is Pacific Palisades.
Oh, this is the guy that was interviewing Steve Guttenberg.
So all of the drivers panicked. They took their keys. This is Palisades Drive as well as Sunset Boulevard. This dozer is just moving these vehicles out of the way. So if this is your car, unfortunately, it's an emergency situation, and this is what they have to do. Get that shit
out the way.
They are moving the cars as we speak. Unfortunately, there are dozens of cars. This looks like a movie set. Unfortunately, this is real. LA County Fire, they have to do what they have to do. They need to clear a path. So literally, they're moving the cars, the SUVs. We're seeing Mercedes, very nice vehicles, Teslas up here, but that's because the car owners, they took their keys and they just started running. They left the cars here as the firefighters were trying to clear the pathway.
Good question. Why are they being so gentle? That's a great question. Why are they being so gentle? Just fuck it. They're in the way, get them out the way. They don't have time to be gentle.
at least as long
It's crazy.
as I can see from this bird's eye view. So we're kind of staying back. They're in a situation here where they are literally moving these vehicles out of the way. Yes, it is causing damage, as you can hear from the screeching noises, but that is what they have to do.
Okay, so that's, there's that. Let's see, what else we got here? So anyway, bulldozers are taking the cars. Someone here said, we really need people to move their cars. So if you leave your car behind, leave the key in there so the guy can, like me, can move your car. So these fire trucks can get up here, the 60-year-old employed. It's really important, he told KTLA. They have that. They don't seem to have that link there. But anyway, so this really terrible fire situation in Southern California. It's also moving into Malibu. Now, and of course, I knew as soon as I saw this, the term DEI was going to come up, and it did. And maybe in some ways it's possible that there's a problem, but I don't think it's the fire department that is the problem here. The problem is the state of California. But here's this story in front page immediately. DEI comes into the story. Hello, Midnight in Exile, by the way. LA Fire Department embraced DEI in the city burn. Right now, I think even the most diehard woke in LA would take competence over to diversity. Some people have noticed that Los Angeles is on fire, and it's true. The more importantly, it's really breaking all sorts of ceilings, and not just with fire, but also with diversity. Los Angeles Fire Department Chief Kristen Crowley is used to shattering glass ceilings. She isn't just the first LGBTQ plus person to lead the department, but also the first woman. Countless people come up and say, because you're out there being who you are and you're proud of who you are, that gives them strength, said Crowley. I'm different, but there's a lot of difference everywhere in the world with the fire service. Within the LA Fire Department, I turned it around and looked at it as a true advantage. I don't know why. If you know how to fight fires, that's the number one first true advantage. These are the areas I represent, from sexual orientation to my gender to my upbringings. We all are different, but that's a strength of ours. Crowley is a proud member of the LGBTQ plus community and says LA Fire Department has come a long way in terms of inclusion, adding there's always a ways to go. Crowley believes the more diverse the LA Fire Department is, the better the department is at serving a city as diverse as Los Angeles. No! The better that you have people who can fight fires is the better that the department will be at serving the city of Los Angeles. I don't give a fuck if it's all 6'5" transsexual women, with a lisp. If they can fight fires, yes, I want them. If they can't fight fires, get the fuck out. That's all. I don't understand. No, I just want people who can fight fires in the fucking fire department. Or if you do emergency services, great. If you're in that part of the fire department that goes out in ambulances, fan-fucking-tastic. I do not care if it's diverse. If it's all 6-foot white guys with blonde hairs and blue eyes and, medium builds, that's fine with me. I want them to be able to fight fires and help people. I don't care. Anyway, just why? Okay, but I understand why people get upset with that shit. So anyway, so other things trending. Malibu's trending because of it, because they're saying, oh, this is just like Malibu. These houses are worth millions. I wonder if they will get treated like the people in North Carolina. This is Malibu, one of the wealthiest, affluent places in the entire planet. Now it's being burned to ashes. Have you ever seen anything like this ever before? So it's spread into Malibu. Somebody here says, prayers up for residents and firefighters in Santa Monica, Malibu, and beyond. The state of California hasn't been conducting enough controlled burns to prevent or reduce the impact of wildfires. California leadership is failing the people, and there's a couple major problems. The state isn't doing the proper controlled burn management, fire management for this. Hello, number one. And the water issue. They're not keeping reservoirs filled. They've been draining out reservoirs. Now, where is the California one here? Because someone had this. This is one of the first. Right here. Somebody says here, imagine if California allocated all this water to fires instead of dumping it into the ocean, because they've been draining out their reservoirs for some reason. Here's another one. Fire. Watching hospital patients being evacuated on foot last night put the utter failure of single-party rule in perspective, with the mayor who is out of the country, environmental policies that put people at risk, and having, okay, again, the DEI hires a fire chief. I hate that. You know how much I hate the DEI part thing, because everyone wants to blame it on DEI. If she's competent, I don't care. If she's incompetent and she's only there because of her sexuality and her woman and this and that, then get the fuck out. That's what I say. So anyway, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass is on a taxpayer-funded trip to Africa as part of a Biden administration presidential delegation while her city is burning to the ground. Well, she's not the mayor of Malibu or Pacific Palisades, but you get the point. I mean, is Greater Los Angeles kind of, is it like its own, like, no, all these cities have different mayors, right? They're not like one city. But anyway, yeah, Karen Bass is on a trip to Africa, part of a Biden administration thing. Malibu's trending also because it's reached into Malibu, which, oh my goodness. Look, my parents grew up in California. We traveled there often as children. And visit family. Malibu is where I swam in the ocean for the first time. To see it engulfed in flames and in the many other communities terrorized by these fires is truly heartbreaking. Yeah, man, I've enjoyed some time in Malibu in my day. We've been there a few times. And this is the Pacific Palisades fire from above the sky above LA. Holy shit. I mean, that is brutal. Just brutal. So, other things trending because of this: SoCal, Southern California. Someone here, prayers to Southern Cal. I feel wrecked. Doesn't matter how wealthy you are, losing your house is losing your home. If everybody gets out safe, obviously it matters most. But you've lost your home. Prayers to everyone in Southern California. Good. Some nice sentiments along here. Here, let's see. These Southern California fires are preventable. The far lefties controlling Sacramento have left us with forest policies that are dangerous and limited water resources to respond properly. We live on the ocean, but are told to stop watering our lawns and take quick showers. We don't. We don't capture the rain properly. It just runs back into the ocean. We bob from mudslides during the rainy season to forest fires with limited water resources. Stop voting for these woke people. We deserve better leadership in California. Again, they've been not keeping the reservoirs full anymore. And, the water supply in California is terrible. Here, this is Isaiah Washington. He was an actor on Grey's Anatomy, I think. Pacific Palisades neighborhood in Los Angeles. Okay, so Pacific Palisades is a neighborhood. But I think, isn't Malibu a separate town? A neighbor California that's characteristics that align with it being considered an anti-Trump liberal stronghold based on various indicators, voting patterns. Okay, he's talking about the politics of Pacific Palisades. Voting patterns in the 2024 general election, Pacific Palisades precincts overwhelmingly voting for Kamala Harris over Donald Trump, with Harris receiving 71% of the vote compared to Trump's 27.75 and RFK Jr.'s 1.08. This indicates a strong liberal lean. Political demographics. The area is noted for its highly educated population, which tend to vote more liberally, with 79% of adults in Pacific Palisades holding a bachelor's degree or higher. This demographic factor supports a liberal inclination. Furthermore, this presence of older and more affluent residents might typically suggest conservative tendencies, but in this case, the education level and local political culture seems to outweigh these factors. Well, it's not even necessarily the education level. It's the local political culture, especially. People like to live where other people have that same kind of thing, Community sentiment posts on X describe Pacific Palisades as a haven for super rich liberals, suggesting a community sentiment that aligns with liberal politics over conservative, particularly in opposition to Trump. However, it's important to note nuances in political climate. While Pacific Palisades might lean heavily Democratic, the presence of wealth and other older demographics can introduce some variability in political views, potentially with some support for conservative policies or candidates in certain contexts, although this appears to be a minority in the broader picture. Comparative context, compared to the other nearby areas to Los Angeles County at large, Pacific Palisades might have a slightly higher proportion of Republican voters, but this does not negate its overall liberal tilt, particularly in national elections. In conclusion, while Pacific Palisades demonstrates strong liberal tendencies, especially in opposition to Trump, it's not entirely monolithic, with some conservative presence due to its demographic makeup. However, in the context of recent political events and voting patterns, it can generally be characterized as an anti-Trump liberal stronghold. So, clearly, he must have got that from... that sounds like something he got from Grok. So, anyway. Let's see. Anyone else? Oh, wait. Anything else here? But here, this tells you California right here. California is a completely Democrat-held legislature. In 2014, they passed this in 2014, still waiting. Some water bond proposition. Apparently they haven't started using it. Most of all, they need to manage the local forest, remove dead trees around neighborhoods, randomly do controlled burns in dry areas, keep dry foliage down through the freeways. These are things that we do a lot in Utah, and it works very well. So someone talking about how they manage fires in Utah. So moving on, other things trending because the Santa Ana winds happen this time every year. You get high winds, and so any spark fire is going to send things, completely flying. It's funny, interesting. This is something. 15 hours ago, this says homeless man caught lighting a fire during Santa Ana wind event. Now, why is he starting a fire right there, right? With all that brush around there, all that brush, what is he doing? What is he doing? Someone here says, fathers do not sleep tonight. Stand watch over your family. This was out my window at 3 a.m. on a Santa Ana wind event in 2016. Thank God I stayed up and I saw this wall of fire just in time. We grabbed the kids and ran. So Santa Ana winds are kind of a bitch. James Wood is trending because apparently he saw his neighbor's house go down in flames, and probably his too. So he's saying, and he's pissed off about this this fire chief too. He posted this: priorities stated in her bio below. Refilling the water reservoirs would have been a welcome priority too, but I guess she had too much on her plate promoting diversity. So this is the fire chief they were talking about. Los Angeles fire chief: create, supporting, and promoting culture that values diversity, inclusion, and equity while striving to meet and exceed the expectations of the communities are Chief Crowley's priorities. She is grateful for the opportunity to serve the city of Los Angeles. Hey, how about fighting fires? That would be a good one too, to put in that priority list. But lots of people are making fun of James Woods because they're saying, oh, this is karma for James Woods. James Woods hasn't been living his life in accordance with God's approval. House burning down and everything. Am I doing it right, MAGA? Bitch, no. That's not doing it right. Whatever. So anyway, James Wood, our neighbor's friend, sent this video evacuating our area as they're driving through the Los Angeles area. This is brutal. Keep your lights on and keep moving as much as you can. It gets pretty hot out there. Oh, they got it blocked off? Or are they letting people through? Who knows? Looks like they're keeping the road clear. That's frightening. Could you imagine not knowing how far you would have to drive to clear that? How scary would that be? Jesus. So anyway, now Did you go after James Wood and repeatedly compared black people to apes and thought it was funny? I don't recall him ever doing that. I think I would remember something like that. But anyway, lots of people taking a shit on James Woods. So I hear James Wood house is on fire. Hello, karma. And karma is trending, by the way. This is the one I put this in the title today because it annoyed me. Because I don't care who lives in Pacific Palisades. I don't care who lives in Malibu. I would not celebrate Barbra Streisand's house being burnt down. I don't want people celebrating James Wood's house being burnt down. I don't want to celebrate Steve Gutenberg's house being burnt down. I don't care who the celebrity or politician or whatever is. This ain't it. This is not it. So karma is trending mostly because they're saying James Wood, karma for James Woods. James Wood's house is burning down. It's a karma calling. Someone tell James Wood that karma's a bitch and she always shows up eventually. I would, but he blocked me, so I pointed out the fact that he's 137 years old and dating a 22-year-old. He's not under that. This is a terrible person. She cheered for James Wood's house to burn down and called it karma. Everyone should wish her a good morning. She's got a PhD. So is that the PhD chick? No. Karen Piper, this is the PhD. This is a PhD. Oh, just another girl with a PhD. I follow academics in solidarity. Why don't you follow your nose into the river or something? I don't know. Oh, but that's not the only reason karma's trending, though. And the other part is regarding Sunny Hostin. I'll get into this more later, but apparently the View star Sunny Hostin's surgeon husband has been accused of insurance fraud in his sweeping federal lawsuit. I have a story on that. I'll get to it. What is this? Oh, what is this? How many people do you feel this way? Okay.
Excuse me. Aren't you forgetting something?
Like what?
Aren't you going to say have a nice day?
No. I don't care if you have a pulse, much less a nice day.
Oh, that's cute. Whenever a Trump supporter speaks to me. So, and so this people are replying to this Karen Piper, though. RB, who I follow, RB Pundit. Interesting. So is it also karma for all the left-wingers whose houses are also burning down? Or nah? You know? So anyway, lots of people taking shit on James Wood because his house is burning. And then finally, other things trending because of this insurance. Not just because of Sunny Hostin, but also this is an interesting post. I don't know what's going on in this. It says insurance in Western North Carolina. Oh, sorry, you didn't have flood insurance. We can't help you. Insurance in Los Angeles. Oh, sorry, you didn't have fire insurance. We can't help you. So let's see what did they put here on the. Let's see what they put in the video. What video they put here?
They're waving me down. Hi there.
I know I'm not supposed to.
That's fine. You decided not to leave.
I know I'm not supposed to be here, but this is my parents' home.
I know the feeling.
And they just lost. They got canceled from their fire insurance.
Oh my God.
So they're dealing with this. They're 90 years old. And through the state of California, because of this, they're 90 years old. That they've lived in this house for 75 years, and they've had the same insurance. And these insurance people decided to cancel their fire. And we're going through this, and it just happened, and they have no fire insurance. So thank you, California insurance companies, supporting residents who pay taxes and love California. And they wonder why people leave California.
First and foremost, you did get your parents out safely.
I live in Sierra Madre. My parents are in Sierra Madre, but...
And now you know that it is under evacuation as well, north of Sierra Madre Boulevard.
Yeah, I snuck here. You know, there's a will, there's a way. Probably shouldn't do it, but you know what? Under the circumstances, send me to jail. That's fine.
It is unbelievable what's happening here to the neighbors. Your parents' house is still standing. You had a hose. You're doing what you can.
I mean, I have a hose. It doesn't compare to these beloved neighbors that I've known.
That's terrible. That's terrible. I'll leave that as simple.
They're waving me down. Hi there.
I know I'm not supposed to.
That's fine. You decided not to leave.
I know I'm not.
Yeah, that's not good. Council's reports of mass fire coverage cancellations by insurance companies just week before the Los Angeles fires. This woman blasted the California government for their mismanagement and explained the fire coverage of her childhood home was just canceled after decades. She decided to defend the home with a garden hose. Per James Woods, his neighborhood had their coverage mass canceled recently as well. I don't know how they can do that. I have no idea how they do it. They should sue those companies. I don't know. That's unbelievable. Heartbroken Hollywood actor whose home burnt down in the Palisades fire compares devastation to losing a loved one, and he reveals he has no insurance policy for charged property. That's because they've canceled insurance, dipshit. This is like, FYI, James Wood doesn't have homeowners insurance policy. That's not about James Wood, I bet, because he didn't live in Palisades. He lives in Malibu. Anyway, insurance companies canceled most insurance policies in the Pacific Palisades area recently due to California's insane leftist policies, so most are uninsured. James, okay, I guess that's true. James Wood is uninsured. This is on Gavin Newsom. He needs to resign in disgrace. Let's see. Actually, one of the major insurance companies, here's James Wood saying, actually, one of the major insurance companies canceled all the policies in our neighborhood about 4 months ago. Looks like people are panicking and end up blocking roads, wrecking cars stacked and abandoned. Doesn't look good for those who live there. I'm wondering if insurance companies will treat them better than those in Malibu, I'm guessing they're saying. That's what they're saying. So, yeah, that is, and that's, apparently it is in relation to something about California not doing fire management. So that is awful. That is completely awful. Let's go to the View, Sunny Hostin's issues and her husband, though. Now we'll move on from the California stuff. Newsome belongs in prison. I can't believe they keep voting for that man, and he wants to run for president. Here we go. The View's Sunny Hostin caught up in a RICO lawsuit alleging medical insurance fraud. This is in the Daily Wire. Emmanuel Manny Hostin, husband of the ABC News personality Sunny Hostin, is one of 200 defendants who were named in a massive RICO case filed in New York City just before Christmas. Now, granted, and this is not MAGA going after Sunny Hostin. This is the state of New York. According to an exclusive report published by the Daily Mail, Hostin and many others have been accused of taking kickbacks and submitting fraudulent bills to an insurance company that typically insures Uber and Lyft drivers and cab companies. The lawsuit filed December 17th alleges that Hostin knowingly provided fraudulent medical and other healthcare services, including arthroscopic surgeries, and then reportedly billed American Transit Insurance in exchange for kickbacks and other compensation, which were disguised as dividends or other cash distributions. Daniel Thwaites, an attorney representing Hostin, gave a statement to the Daily Mail saying that his client denies each and every allegation, referring to the suit as a blanket scattershot meritless lawsuit by a nearly bankrupt insurance carrier. Thwaites further alleges the insurance company was intentionally abusing the legal system in an effort to restrict health care benefits to its insureds and their passengers and write off proper obligations. It is meant to intimidate and harass doctors from collecting for care given to American Transit insureds and their passengers, Thwaites added. American Transit rushed into the lawsuit without ever conducting an examination of Dr. Hostin or expressing any concerns for his lawyers. So this is interesting because, she was just ripping on insurance things the other day about... She was talking about insurance the other day, and then this pops up. So who knows what's going on with that, but that's an interesting thing. All right, let's move on. First, though, thank you, Avocados Diablo. First sponsor of the day, you are the News Dream Lab Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you. Dropping a small pull in the tip jar. Here we go. AD says, so, if it's okay to shoot a CEO of a health insurance company for denying a claim, how does that translate to a state government or homeowners insurance company that drops the ball? I'm just going to say no comment. Wow. All right, moving on. Maui. There's more stuff trending because of the fires in California. Maui's trending. Someone says, looks exactly what happened in Maui. Explains why James Wood posted about the homeowners insurance being canceled in the masses by insurance companies months and weeks prior to the fires and the reservoir not being refilled. So here's, I guess this is what they're talking about James Wood saying here. Actually, one of the major insurance companies canceled all the policies in our neighborhood about 4 months ago. Okay, when we saw that already. And then priority state in there. Okay, then the priority, those are the same two things he put up there. Yeah, a lot of people are saying, and then someone says, no one's coming to save you. Please learn from the past. Helene and Maui. If you can see flames, if you can feel the heat, if you can smell smoke, get out now. Yeah, because it spreads incredibly rapidly with the super high Santa Ana winds. It's like, get the hell out. Now, will FEMA be lounging in 5-star hotel again? Will FEMA be lounging in 5-star hotels again, sipping Mai Tais while giving the classic bureaucratic runaround, just like they did after the Maui fires? Yeah, probably. And in fact, FEMA is trending. Fire chief is trending too. Everyone's talking about the fire chief. Here, let's see. Here's her vision and strategic plan for the Los Angeles Fire Department. Let's see what this is. Someone posted this.
I'm super inspired.
She took time out of her already busy schedule to tell us about her vision for the department's future, one that includes a 3-year strategic plan to increase diversity.
How about fighting fires? Again, I mean, great. If you want to get more people interested in firefighting, start with kids who are in junior high and maybe get them to train so they can be firefighters. But increasing diversity for diversity's sake, isn't it? It just ain't it. God.
People ask me, well, what number are you looking for? I say, I'm not looking for a number. It's never enough.
Out of 3,300 city firefighters, only 115 are women right now.
Let me ask y'all something. Just a little question here. Do you think that there is a single person right now in Pacific Palisades, Malibu, or anywhere else in the line of these fires who are thinking to themselves, I'm really annoyed that there are not more women in the Los Angeles Fire Department right now. Boy, oh boy, if there were more women and more minorities and more, I don't know, wheelchair-bound and one-legged and half-blind people in the fire department, that my life would be better right now. Do you think anyone gives a shit? I'm going to start yelling if I don't do it. I don't do it. You want dudes my size to be fire? Yes, I want dudes my size to be firefighters, like 6'4", whatever. And I weigh a lot. I'm a little bit too much NFL lineman to be a firefighter. I think you'd want more like middle linebackers types, but or defensive ends. Yeah, yes, big strong people. Yeah, I don't care how many women are in the fire department. Unless it's, if it's the paramedic side of the fire department, great. That's fantastic. But firefighters, and look, unless they're Brittany Griner size or like a WNBA player size, I do not care. If you recruit half the WNBA to be firefighters, and I'm okay with that because they're big, strong women. But I don't care. It's not Oh, my God.
She's already looking at ways to change that. She's quick to point out that doing so has a greater purpose, attracting the best and brightest for the job.
No, it doesn't. You're just...
They feel included, they feel valued, and they feel part of a cohesive team.
The chief also checks another box when it comes to inclusivity and diversity. And
nobody cares.
She's a proud member of the LGBTQ
Nobody cares.
community.
And guess what? If I can find a bunch of 6'4", 200-pound gay men to fill an entire fire department because they're strong and bulking and can carry and lift shit and can carry, people out of houses and hit things with axes, then I'd have an entire fire department of gay 6'4", 200-pound firefighters. But I don't care if they're good God. Good God. Oh my good Lord.
That just kind of opens the door of people that thought, wow, I didn't even know that was an opportunity.
Then if you didn't open the door when they're 7 years old and say, hey, you know what? You're pretty tall for a 7-year-old. Maybe if you think about this your entire schooling life and you learn how to do certain shit, you can be a firefighter when you grow older. And don't start with the hiring process for diversity. The only way you can start for diversity is when kids are in school. You don't start at the hiring process. You don't start at the training process. You start kids, make sure they can get through a high school first.
For me, I am super inspired.
She took time out of her...
I don't care. Good God. Good God. Anyway, a lot of people are talking about the fire chief. And they keep putting that same video up. So they're talking about the fire chief. Moving on, we'll go to FEMA. Thank you, Ty Alexander. Drop it at 2:30 in the tip jar. And Tyre, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you. Tyre says, oh boy, the Los Angeles Fire Department is a complete sausage fest. We need more women being killed because they can't pass the tests, and so the standards have to be lowered for them, and then they get put in life or death situations. This is going to kill more people than it will save. Ding! Exactly. All right, FEMA's trending because, FEMA's going to eventually help here, I think. Apparently, though, while this fire is going on in California, apparently some of the people in Western North Carolina who have temporary housing or temporary hotels or whatever, it's apparently the last day or something that they are they're going to be able to stay in their places, and they're begging FEMA to, hey, can you re-up us on some shit here? So here it is. And this is the post that I learned this from. So, Los Angeles is engulfed in flames. Western North Carolina victims are kicked out of hotels in the snow. But don't worry. FEMA, not femur, that'd be the bone in your leg. FEMA is hyper-focused on letting you know about how hard they are fighting misinformation today. Yes, this is a real article that came out 3 hours ago. Oh, good Lord. This came out in The Advocate, which is LGBTQ plus and magazine. Meet the gay man helping FEMA fight misinformation during natural disasters. Information is a lifeline, Justin Knighton told The Advocate at the National Response Coordination Center. Yes, that is what I'm most concerned about when there's a fire and other shit. Anyway, you think fires are bad? Wait till the people who lost everything find out FEMA ran out of money because they literally gave it to illegals. Fuck Joe Biden. Well, the new Congress can certainly appropriate more funds for FEMA if they need to. Maybe they can stop sending money to other places. Right now, though, breaking, FEMA is not answering the phone calls of Western North Carolina victims begging to extend their motel stays. Mike McGraw, a retired veteran, said, I only have one option, to live in my truck until I can find some other place to live. It's 16 degrees and snowing outside. Yeah, there's, obviously the big snowstorm hitting most of the rest of the country. We're just getting cold here. We didn't get any snow in Minnesota. It's kind of a bummer. But anyway, let's see what this is here.
They all said there was nothing they could do. There was no you're ineligible and we can't do anything.
I just don't see how it's right. You extend these people, but you don't extend us.
I have nowhere else to go but in the streets. They are not, I've called them several times, and they have not answered anything. They have not extended my stay. They just told me I had to be out by January the 10th.
The last day individuals and families can remain in a hotel is January 11th, but must be checked out by January 10th. And with the departure date right around the corner, many are now left wondering where they will go next.
I don't know what to do, so I got 2 more days, so I'm gonna sit it out.
Like Michael McGraw, a retired veteran now left with one option.
I live in my truck. That's it until I can find a place or somewhere to live. And I have no friends. I mean, all my friends are long gone, you know. So I don't know what to do.
FEMA says extensions are available, but those are determined on a case-by-case basis.
Okay, interesting. This shit's getting depressing. The country is literally freezing on one side and burning on the other, and this is what we're supposed to care about with FEMA. Okay, this is the same thing. This is the article that came out 3 hours ago. How do you think the FEMA aid for the Hollywood Hills will compare to Western North Carolina? Anyone got it? What do you think of that, y'all? I don't know that FEMA will be any more helpful in California either. You know, I just don't. There's enough other people out there that probably can help people. At least you'd think. I mean, it's liberal, it's liberal land. Although the problem is, do people in California just feel like the government should do it? It's kind of how everything works in liberal enclaves, right? The government should do it. I mean, are there going to be... Are a bunch of Amish people going to run to California and build tiny homes for people like they did in Western North Carolina? Probably not. Anyway, boy, the same people who always want to deny Floridans FEMA aid are all about rebuilding this as quickly as possible. California's got to get into their fire management again. And I tell you what, that legislature better get their shit together, because they're going to start pissing people off. On the bright side, the victims of the Los Angeles wildfires are looking at getting a cool $700 from FEMA. Your government cares. Oh, boy. Anyway, and then the last thing, trending because of this California stuff, is North Carolina. Now, here, let me just give you something beautiful to look at just for a second. Just says Sugar Mountains, North Carolina. This is what walking in a winter wonderland looks like. Yeah, that's fantastic, unless you are one of the people in Western North Carolina who may be kicked out of a hotel in 3 days. So anyway, the houses in California are worth millions. Wonder if they will get treated like the people in North Carolina. This is Malibu, one of the wealthiest, affluent places in the entire planet. Now it's being burnt to ashes. Have you ever seen anything like this ever before? Well, only since the last California wildfire. So there you go. All right, let's get into some of the articles I have open. I have a lot open, and I have plenty of time. So let's just get into it. If you saw my tweet today, or my post, or whatever the hell you call it, I mentioned Elizabeth Warren, and I mentioned it earlier in that John Fetterman piece about Elizabeth Warren. Well, Elizabeth Warren is meeting with some of these Trump nominees in theory, but she wrote a 33-page letter ranting at Pete Hegseth, defending military wokeness. Now, two different headlines of this. The Breitbart defending military wokeness. PJ Media says that Elizabeth Warren finds one of those right-wing extremists. Whoops, wait, wrong one. Right-wing extremists that the Biden regime has been warning us about. So let's do the Breitbart article first. And I know if anyone's here, just drop it in. Oh, you're reading a Breitbart article. Yes, I'm reading a Breitbart article. Fuck off. Senator Elizabeth Warren. Hang on a second here. Senator Elizabeth Warren on Monday sent a 33-page rant to Defense Secretary nominee Pete Hegseth, defending the Biden administration's woke policies in the military and expressing concern that he would reverse them if confirmed. In a letter sent to Hegseth, let me just step back a minute. Let me just step back a minute. 33-page letter. Did she? She had to use like Chat GPT or some shit, or had her staff write or something. 33-page letters. In a letter sent to Hegseth on Tuesday and made public, Warren, who lied on teaching applications about her race. Okay. Consider the source. Hello, Mrs. Hayes. What's up? Expressed concerns about Hegseth's views opposing Marxist-based diversity, equity, inclusion, and wokeness in the military, and concern that he would actually implement President-elect Donald Trump's policies at the Pentagon. Oh my God. You mean a member of Trump's cabinet might actually implement his policies? Oh, for shame, for shame. For example, in one portion of the letter, she subtitled, quote, "Threats to diversity in the military," end quote. She defended DEI, citing Bishop Garrison, the Biden Pentagon's own senior advisor to the Secretary of Defense for Human Capital and DEI. She wrote, and I quote, "Department of Defense officials have been clear that diversity, equity, and inclusion in the military are necessities for the United States, and that the military must be able to attract, train, and retain them for the services to retain competitive edges." Now, it's kind of funny. There's more, but let me just stop for a second. The United States military is very diverse. It's probably one of the most diverse institutions that we have in the United States, because a lot of people use the military to get ahead, turn their lives around, and do other things. And, you know, my experience with military people and my tiny brush with military service, I always saw multiple races and creeds and whatever people in the military who did a lot of different things. But it wasn't because they were trying to make it more diverse. It just happened that way. People see it as a way to get ahead and they'd use it. And so I don't understand what she's saying here. Like, unless she's talking about diversity other than like race kind of things, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying. Anyway, she continues, "You claim that the dumbest phrase on planet Earth in the military is our diversity is our strength. Just like firefighting. I don't give a fuck what people look like. I don't care if they're all one race or if they're multi-race or whatever, as long as they can do the job." I'm sorry, I digress. As noted above, you also called for firing of the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and any general that was involved, any general, admiral, whatever, that was involved in any of the DEI woke shit. Additionally, you complain that the war on warriors, that a woke military emphasizes the made-up military values of diversity and inclusion and fails to recruit masculine men who could make up our warrior class. Well, that's right. Man, I love this guy already. He needs to be our... Oh, sorry. I got a little excited there. She also expressed concerns about Trump's plan to reverse the renaming of military bases, such as changing Fort Liberty back to Fort Bragg, and that Hegseth is seemingly on board with that plan. No! Warren included dozens of loaded questions to Hegseth, such as, quote, "Do you support reverting the names of military property named after Confederate soldiers despite the naming commissions receiving bipartisan support and working with local communities to make these recommendations? And do you believe it is wrong for service members to affiliate with white supremacist or extremist groups such as the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers? If and why not?" Okay. I hate to have to say this over and over and over again. The Proud Boys and Oath Keepers are not white supremacist or extremist groups, you dummy. They have created this total myth about the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers. You know, both of those organizations are multiracial organizations. They have nothing to do with white supremacy or extremism. The Proud Boys was just a group that came out of the, you know, prior first Trump, what do they call it? The first Trump campaign, and around that time, 2015 and 16, when conservative speakers were getting, you know, their people who come to see them get beat up on campuses. And people attacking Trump people. The Proud Boys is basically just a counter fucking Antifa shitbags who would attack people for their views. The Oath Keepers was a group that just was out there finding people to do military funerals and all kinds of shit. She's just they've made them into this mythical white supremacist caricatures of what they are, and that's just bullshit. I've been following these these groups and how they operate and what, you know, where they came from. I mean, basically the Proud Boys was a drinking club, according to Gavin what's his face. It's just funny how they've turned this myth into that. So anyway, she also asked if he would commit to implementing recommendations of the Biden administration's Countering Extremist Activity Working Group, which Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin stood up and eventually disbanded after the group found fewer than 100 cases of extremism in a force of 2.1 million service members. Oh, well, no, he should bring that back because they were so successful. She also regurgitated anonymously sourced smears in the mainstream media reports and tried to recirculate the false claim that Hegseth's tattoos are linked to white supremacy when a Breitbart News investigation found that it was a lie started by a far-left veteran named Travis Akers, who had campaigned for Kamala Harris. So since this smear about Pete Hegseth's tattoos being associated with extremism is going around again, I encourage you to read my piece on how the smear originated and who was behind it. There's a link to that. Anyway, she also expressed concerns that he would actually fire woke generals, as Trump has said he would do, and fire those associated with a disastrous Afghanistan withdrawal. Nobody's been fired from that yet? What do you mean? Jesus Christ. Sorry, Lord. And she attacked Hegseth for defending service members forced to make a quick split-second decisions in the fog of war, seeming to take the side of enemy combatants over U.S. military personnel. She also criticized his support for traditional American values, such as the right to bear arms, as, quote, peddling conspiracy theories and making claims that are devoid of reality. Oh my gosh. She also accused Hegseth of using military terminology when speaking of reforming the U.S. educational system. Warren demanded that Hegseth provide her with written answers by January 10th, in 3 days, of a 33-page letter. To his confirmation hearing, prepared to discuss them. Hegseth is scheduled to testify in front of the Senate Armed Services Committee on January 14th, after which the committee will vote on whether to advance his nomination to the full Senate. Senate Majority Leader John Thune has reportedly told Trump's transition team that Hegseth has the votes to be confirmed for defense secretary. So there's that. Now, here's another version in PJ Media, and let's see if they're as kind. No, it's Robert Spencer wrote it, so I expect it to be just as maybe even a little more snarky. I mean, they chose this picture of her surrendering to. Oh my gosh. This is her surrendering to the generals on the range. Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't even come out with the name. Who is the famous general that actually got killed out here? I can't remember his name. Anyway, our moral superior. This is how Robert Spencer does it. This is funny. He starts out with, "Our moral superiors have warned us about this again and again. The destroyers of the Justice Department, Merrick Garland, has assured us, as has old Joe Biden, as has the destroyer of the FBI, Christopher Wray, as well as the leftist dogs at the Department of Homeland Security. They have all agreed and told us repeatedly that white supremacists were the biggest terror threat America faces today. The only thing they lacked to complete their scenario were actual white supremacist terrorists. But now, heap big squaw Senator Elizabeth Warren, Democrat Cherokee Cheekbones, has found one, Pete Hegseth, Trump nominee for Secretary of Defense. The New York Post reported Tuesday that Warren sent a series of angry smoke signals to Hegseth, admonishing him for daring to express his Christian faith openly and trying to make him out to be one of those right-wing extremists we always hear so much about, but seldom see. On Monday, Warren fired off an exhausting 33-page letter to Hegseth telling him he was heap bad medicine. "I am deeply concerned by the many ways in which your behavior and rhetoric indicates that you are unfit to lead the Department of Defense. Your confirmation as Secretary of Defense would be detrimental to our national security and disrespect a diverse array of service members who are willing to sacrifice for our country." Oh, you mean those diverse servicemen that Pete Hegseth served alongside? Biatch! The far-left Warren professed to be particularly worried about a tattoo on Hegseth's bicep, which says, "Deus Vult," or "God wills us." The angry squaw also pointed to a Reuters article recounting how a National Guard Master Sergeant believed the former Fox News host could be an insider threat. That Master Sergeant had done a quick internet search and determined that the tattoo had links to right-wing extremism and had been a battle cry for the Crusaders. Now, Warren isn't really afraid that Hegseth is going to get a new Crusader army together and go take back Constantinople or something, but that the Massachusetts senator and fake Native American is so far out of touch with actual Christianity that she thinks, or wants us to believe, that she thinks that having a Jerusalem cross tattoo, which Hegseth has on his chest, and Deus Vult on his arm means that Hegseth is not just a serious Christian, but a right-wing extremist. The self-righteous Harridan reminded Hegseth, quote, "You were also removed from President Biden's inauguration because of concerns that you were an insider threat after reports that your Deus Vult tattoo was a Christian expression associated with right-wing extremism." That was actually true, at least partially. The Post noted that the National Guard brass pushed Hegseth out from serving during President Biden's inauguration day. Notably, the top brass had been on high alert at the time in the wake of January 6, 2021 Capitol riot. This is, however, hardly an indictment of Hegseth. The left at the time was busy concocting its insurrection narrative, and its hysteria was at high pitch. Few people, if any, whom they could demonize as right-wing extremists were left unscathed. Yet, despite the thinness of the case against Hegseth, Warren declared, quote, We cannot have a defense secretary whose fellow servicemen feel concerned enough about a report as a potential insider threat. Now, the far left site Distractify gave us an indication in November 2024 of just what today's soy boy Marxist thinks constitutes right-wing extremism. In explaining Hegseth's tattoos, it stated, quote, Hegseth has other tattoos that reveal his nationalism and his far-right beliefs. He has "We the People" on one of his arms, an American flag that features a machine gun on his upper arm, as well as the year 1775 in Roman numerals. That's right, the Constitution, which begins with "We the People," the American flag, the right to bear arms, the machine gun, and the American Revolution, which heated up in 1775 with the Battle of Bunker Hill and more, are all signs of right-wing extremism now. Yes, every patriot is now a right-wing extremist. Warren also warned Hegseth that, quote, purging top military leadership based on their political views would represent a direct threat to the norms and institutions that uphold the Defense Department and civil-military relations. She didn't say anything, of course, about the Obama-Biden politicization of the Defense Department, and that's understandable. Yeah, because they did that. Her endless letter to Hegseth is part of her effort to preserve and protect the far-left, deeply politicized Defense Department that has been created over the last two Democratic administrations. Hegseth threatens that corrupt establishment and threatens to focus the Defense Department on protecting the country rather than on DEI, critical race theory, and drag shows. And that's why Warren wants so desperately to stop Pete Hegseth. So there you go. That's the Elizabeth Warren section. Now, it's not Thursday, but what the hell? FTG. Hang on. FTG Pocahontas. Oh, she's out of her mind. All right, let's go. We're going to skim through a few other articles, and then we're going to call it a day. But I'm in no hurry, so we'll see how far we get. Oh, there's also one here in Legal Insurrection about Pocahontas. Elizabeth Warren revived her cribbed "You didn't build that" speech at the Democratic debate. And this is oh no. Anyway, this is kind of a throwback article. Cribbing concepts and some wording from a UC Berkeley professor, Warren expressed again her belief that individuals owe their success not to their hard work but to the government. So in September 2011, a video went viral of Elizabeth Warren in a pre-Senate campaign talking tour, excoriating factory owners for claiming they built their business. And she says, "I hear all this, you know. Well, this is class warfare. This is whatever," she said. "No, there is nobody in this country who got rich on his own. Nobody. You built a factory out there. Good for you. But I want to be clear. You moved your goods to market on the roads the rest of us paid for. You hired workers the rest of us paid to educate. You were safe in your factory because police forces and fire forces that the rest of us paid for. You didn't have to worry about marauding bands which would come and seize everything at your factory and hire someone to protect against this because of the work the rest of us did. Now look, you built a factory and turned it into something terrific or a great idea. God bless. Keep a big hunk of it. But part of the underlying social contract is you take a hunk of that and pay forward for the next kid who comes along." Well, what do you think they do by paying people? I don't know. Warren, and in July 2012, Obama argued that because business owners used the common infrastructure of society, such as road, bridges, education, police, they owed society an obligation to pay back that debt. The concept of the self-made person was contrary to their view of society, where individuals owe their success not to their hard work, but to the government. We covered the story in 2012 and how Warren and Obama cribbed the concepts and some of the language from UC Berkeley linguistics professors George Lakoff. Obama and Warren, and there's an article here. I'll put a link to that article. I'll put the article in the links, Now, Warren resurrected the "you didn't build that" verbiage at the CNN New York Times debate on October 15, 2019. And then, so that was in Oh, I see. This is a flashback. Aaron Burdett, CNN Monitor. Congressman O'Rourke, do you think a wealth tax is the best way to address income inequality? Your response, Beto O'Rourke. I think, oh, wait, what? Okay, he said, I think it's part of the solution, but I think we need to be focused on lifting people up. And sometimes I think that Senator Warren is more focused on being punitive and pitting some part of the country against another instead of lifting people up and making sure that this country comes together around those solutions. I think of a woman I met in Las Vegas, Nevada. She's working 4 jobs, raising her child with disabilities, and any American with disabilities knows just how hard it is to making it and get by in this country already. Some of those jobs working for some of these operations, she wants to know how we are going to help her and how we're going to make sure that her child has the care that she needs, that we strengthen protections for those with disabilities, that she just has to work 1 job because it pays a living wage. And Senator Warren said, show me your budget, show me your tax plan, and show me your values. And you'll show me your values. She has yet to describe her tax plan and whether or not that person I met would see a tax increase under my administration. If you make less than $250,000 a year as a family, you will not see a tax increase. That family needs to know that. So Burnett then asked, I want to give Senator Warren a chance to respond. So here's her response. So I'm really shocked at the notion that anyone thinks I'm punitive. Look, I don't have a beef with billionaires. My problem is you made a fortune in America. You had a great idea. You got out there and worked for it. Good for you. But you built that fortune in America. I guarantee you built it in part using workers. All of us helped to pay educate. You built it in part getting all your goods to markets on roads and bridges. All of us helped to pay for. You built it at least in part protected by police and firefighters. All of us helped to pay the salaries for. And all I'm saying is you make it to the top 0.1%, then pitch in 2 cents so every other kid in America has a chance to make it, which is just, as if they don't. That's the thing. Look, taxes on corporations, just like tariffs, because everyone's talking about Trump and tariffs, right? Trumps and tariffs. Who pays for tariffs? Well, if they raise the prices, then the people who are paying for the goods pay for the tariffs. Well, that's the same thing with corporate taxes. We're just taxing every time a dollar moves. How about we just start spending less? That would be great, wouldn't it? If they just spend less. I don't care. All right, here's an idea. You can tax the corporations more, but tax us less, okay? Or you can tax us and tax the corporations less, and we'll pay less for shit. How about you guys stop spending so much fucking money? That's what the problem is. Thank you, Avocado Stiabi. Back to the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Dropping another $2.23 in the tip jar, also known as a small bullet, says, quote, you use the roads we built. Well, yeah, because if I didn't, you would arrest me for not using the roads to drive. So not really the mic drop you think. It's not really the mic drop you think it is. No, it's not. It's just dumb. It's, of course, yes, and we pay for the roads. Everyone gets taxed to pay for the roads. Supposedly the gas tax pays for the roads, but apparently it really doesn't because then they need to tax us more for some other shit. Anyway, so there's our Elizabeth Warren section. Now we're going to go to a pseudo lightning round of just things that are happening. Oh, by the way, if you want to find out where they got that phraseology, Obama and Warren using that same thing, they cribbed it from a professor, a progressive Berkeley professor who wrote that, George Lakoff. And there's the article there if you want to see it. In Breitbart, Mecca in Saudi Arabia floods after extreme downpour. What is going on? The city of Mecca in Saudi Arabia, the holiest city in the Muslim religion, experienced heavy flooding on Monday after torrential downpours. Videos posted by Saudi citizens and media showed entire neighborhoods submerged, residents forming human chains to rescue children from flooded homes, trees swept away, and vehicles abandoned after stalling in deep water. Don't try to drive your car into deep water. Flooding was also reported in Medina, the other holy city for Islam, and the major Red Sea port of Jeddah. Medina actually had the heaviest reported rainfall on Monday with 49 millimeters. I was going to say it was 49 inches of rain. No way. 49 millimeters, a debilitating downpour for a town built on an oasis surrounded by dry hills and lava fields. So my understanding, if they've been doing weather experiments in the Middle East, you know what I'm saying? Have you heard about that? And sometimes they work a little too well. And look, you get, Siri, what is 49 millimeters in inches?
49 millimeters is 1.
That's less than 2 inches of rain. Is that what it was? 49.2 millimeters. So 2 inches of rain caused flooding in Saudi Arabia. Oh, that was Dubai, but I'm wondering if that happened here too. They got 2 inches of rain. Now, it's funny because Breitbart puts it in millimeters, so you look at it, you go, oh my God, 49 millimeters of rain, that must be incredible. They got 2 inches of rain and had this kind of flooding. So I wonder how often they get 2 inches of rain in Saudi Arabia. India Today described the situation in Mecca as mayhem, pushing rescue operations and damage control to their limits. Yeah, I'm sure they don't have even they probably don't have storm drain systems and shit like that because it's a fucking desert, right? The last heavy rainfall region killed 21 people in Oman and 4 in the United Arab Emirates in April. The UAE said those storms were the heaviest rainfall it had experienced in 75 years. Jeddah, one of the Saudi Arabia's worst cities for flood damage, suffered heavy flooding in 2009 that killed over 100 people. So yeah, bad, not good for Saudi Arabia. The Daily Caller, Democrat representative is already talking impeachment before inauguration. Well, it's not a representative; he's a senator now. Oh, Democratic California Senator Adam Schiff hinted Monday on CNN at the possibility of impeachment just weeks before President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration. During an appearance on This is CNN, January 6th, during an appearance on CNN, January 6th, Congress certifies election. Schiff said that they're ready to fight Trump and repeat what they did to Trump during his first term. Schiff comments come at a time when Trump has not yet taken office for a second term. Listen to this, jack off.
Focus on those issues and, investigations and questions about his conduct and so forth that you were very focused on, others were as well. That will be secondary?
Well, I think we hope for the best. We keep a focus on trying to get positive, affirmative things done for the country. But a lot will depend on how he chooses to govern. If he violates the law, if he violates the Constitution, if he abuses his office, we will vigorously push back, fight back, stand up to him, as we had to do during his first term in office. But my priority is to try to get things done for my California constituents, realizing, though, they also expect me to stand up to him when he attacks the Constitution or their freedom.
President Biden is currently deliberating over whether to issue any
Do you notice she did not interrupt him at all? You notice how she never interrupts a Democrat. Almost never. Unless, I think during the, except when Biden had to drop out. I know she was interviewing a couple people and she would interrupt them because they were talking bullshit. But she rarely interrupts a Democrat. It's amazing.
Preemptive pardons. You well know that you are in the political crosshairs of Donald Trump. Do you want any kind of preemptive pardon from Joe Biden?
Oh, that's a good question.
I've been very public about my point of view, which is that it would be the wrong precedent to set.
Oh, no, I want it. I want to see it.
Each president hereafter on their way out the door.
Okay, he doesn't like that idea. Anyway, so there you go. I mean, he's hinting impeachment again, but he can't because he's not in the House. Also, The House did overwhelmingly pass the Laken-Riley Act. It's going to go to the Senate. The House of Representatives overwhelmingly passed legislation Tuesday to require federal immigration authorities to detain illegal migrants who commit theft-related crimes in the United States. The legislation passed decisively, 264 to 159, with every Republican lawmaker that voted supporting the bill, which would give Immigration and Customs Enforcement and state governments more authority to curtail illegal immigration. Nearly 160 Democratic lawmakers opposed the bill's passage. 159 is close to 160. Here is Representative Mike Collins talking about it.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to encourage my colleagues to support the Laken-Riley Act. Mr. Speaker, I think it's important that we record into history exactly what happened to this young lady. Young lady didn't have a care in the world.
Hang on. I'm not going to play this. Because one, if he gets in too detailed, it probably doesn't fit YouTube's whatever. So I'm going to put this, the article's here. Let me just go back to the article. This is one of those, well, at least, this is one of those paid articles. So at least you can hear what the bill's about when he talks about it. So I'm going to do that. Hello, Lunatic. What's up? Nice to see you. Anyway, but as I just said, 159 Democrats voted against it. And this is the act that that John Fetterman was talking about earlier, why the Senate wouldn't pass this act. Seems strange to him, okay? So 159 House Democrats voted Tuesday against legislation titled the Laken-Riley Act that would require federal immigration authorities to detain illegal immigrants who commit theft-related crimes in the U.S. and would allow states to sue the Department of Homeland Security for harm caused to their residents because of illegal immigration. The legislation ended up passing in the House in a 264 to 159 vote, with every Republican voting in favor of it. 48 Democrats ended up voting in favor of the bill, and it will now head to the Senate. After the vote, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson released a statement calling out 159 Democrats who voted against the act. Quote, Laken-Riley was brutally murdered by an illegal alien that President Biden and the Democrats let into this country with their open border policy. It's hard to believe, after countless horrific stories like Laken's, any House Democrat would vote against deporting illegal aliens who commit violent crimes against American citizens, the Speaker, he said in a statement. But 159 just did, demonstrating some Democrats have ignored the loud and clear message from voters in this election who demanded secure borders, the deportation of violent illegal aliens, and laws that put the safety and security of the American people first, Johnson added. So there you go. That was his statement. I don't need to play any more of it. But I don't understand. I don't understand. Some were saying, "Oh, well, you may be violating their rights. Like some people might be held wrong." What if? I don't get it. Look, if you commit a crime and you're here illegally, say bye-bye. That's, prove to us that immigrants do less crimes than native-born Americans. Of course, that statistic is legal immigrants do, but whatever. Moving on, in the Daily Caller, we already got this. Judge in the Dox case temporarily blocks Jack Smith from releasing the Trump report, but we had the AP article earlier so now the Justice Department is only going to release the part of the report regarding the January 6th stuff. So there you go. PJ Media, snarky title. Sorry, Democrats, there will be no orange jumpsuit for Donald Trump at New York City sentencing. It's hard to tell if local Manhattan Judge Juan Merchan will receive compensation beyond adoring fandom by the New York glitterati for this cockeyed prosecution of Donald Trump. But what we do know for sure is that on Friday, when he sentences the president-elect, there will be no orange jumpsuit involved. For those who have forgotten, this case against Trump is the Frankenstein's monster contrived in Norm Eisen's and other lawfare queens' labs. The case involves time-barred, lapsed state misdemeanors grafted into a federal elections case and spiced with a 2017 payment to a former mattress actress for the purpose of stealing the 2016 election. Got that? Trump ally and Article 3 project founder Mike Davis says Merchan's actions will earn the partisan, corrupt, and dangerous judge an investigation. And that's what Mike Davis is saying here. Trump 47 Justice Department must put partisan and corrupt and dangerous Democrat Manhattan Judge Juan Merchan in prison. Oh, that's a little spicy. Not doing this, according to Merchan's own words, would cause immeasurable damage to the citizenry confidence in the rule of law. Snap. So anyway, at the time, the constitutional law professor and commentator Jonathan Turnley called the charges that had been previously turned down by the feds and New York State District Attorney outrageous and legally pathetic. And yes, they are. The trial was an embarrassment. The gag order put on Trump and his team was worse. But there's a silver lining here. After Judge Merchan takes the last twirl of his star turn for this embarrassment when he sentences incoming President Hitler on Friday, Trump finally has a chance to appeal it. Under New York law, a person may not appeal a conviction until after sentencing. Of course, this means that the news media will use the sentencing to label Trump as a convicted felon, like they haven't been doing that already. That's the only reason they did this trial. That's the only reason. They wanted to have the label convicted felon. And when the appeals process goes through on this, and this is punted like probably in the first round, they're still going to call him, well, he was a convicted felon. He was convicted by a jury of his appeals. It was just a technicality. No, it's not a technicality. It was a bullshit charge and a bullshit trial. I'm just saying. I've been following it. Robert Gouveia has been great on it, and he's been filling me in every day when I listen to his stuff, and it was a bullshit trial. So anyway, the ethical lapses of Judge Merchan are legion. His daughter is a Democrat political operative whose company made millions of dollars touting her father's trial. Her boss was the leader of the faux political group White Dudes for Kamala. Trump could say nothing about these obvious conflicts of interest because of the outrageous gag order put on the presidential candidate. Neat arrangement, huh? The case would decline for prosecution by the Southern District of New York DOJ office and even by Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg's office, but the lawfare crowd reanimated the case into this Frankenstein monster. Merchan refused to recuse himself. An election year gotcha case was born. Multiple reversible errors during the trial were ignored, including allowing individual jury members to choose their own felony on which to get Trump. And as the day follows night, a Manhattan jury convicted Trump. Basically, the jury instructions basically gave them no choice but to bring back a guilty verdict the way he did it. So, Trump receives no presidential immunity in the case because, unlike Jack Smith's federal cases, the local judge ruled that Trump's actions involved in the case were not official acts, though he had already been elected. And again, the acts that he did, he was already elected, but apparently those acts interfered in the election that was done months earlier. Got it? Merchan denied the president-elect a motion to dismiss the case. Turley says that Merchan's order on sentencing indicates that he might follow the advice of Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg and suspend the sentencing for 4 years. He calls that a terrible option. As some of us noticed after the verdict, this type of case would often result in an unconditional discharge or sentence without jail time. That prediction became more likely after Trump was reelected in November. Limits on Trump's freedom or liberty would likely result in fast reversal, and Merchan knew it. The best thing was to suspend the proceedings and leave Trump in a type of legal suspended animation. Merchan would hold a leash on the president as a criminal defendant awaiting punishment. But the whole point of the trophy kill case is the trophy itself. Merchan will not disappoint. While indicating that he is inclined to a sentence without jail or probation, he will finalize the conviction of Trump just 10 days before his inauguration. And in doing so, he will formally label the president-elect a criminal convicted felon. That's the only reason they did this. Turley wrote, one could call that passively aggressive, but it seems quite actively aggressive at the very least. So that's the update on that. In Federalist, and then there's an article here how The Manhattan DA and judge are hell-bent on continuing the lawfare against Trump. Similar article. I'm not going to go through it, but it'll be in the links. It's by Margot Cleveland. And the Washington Free Beacon, Jake Tapper is... so there's a lawsuit against Jake Tapper and CNN. And it's kind of got him in hot water. So CNN anchor Jake Tapper never apologized for airing a devastating report that falsely portrayed a Navy veteran, Zachary Young, as an illegal profiteer operating in a black market during America's chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan. Young is suing CNN in a Florida court for $1 billion in damages. He argues that Tapper's November 2021 portrayal and an accompanying segment irreparably harmed his reputation and destroyed his contracting company, Nimitz Enterprises, by airing false and defamatory claims about his efforts to get Afghans out of the country as the Taliban took control. The trial has been over 2 years in the making, with CNN facing a number of setbacks in the lead-up. Young rejected a settlement offer from the network and pointed to its disparaging coverage of Fox News' $787 million settlement with Dominion Voting Systems. Jurors on Monday selection process appeared open to forcing CNN to cough up a 10-figure payout to Young. CNN removed the term black market from the online version of its segment. The network also issued an on-air apology acknowledging Young had not broken any laws, but anchor Pamela Brown was filling in for Tapper that day. Did Mr. Tapper deliver that apology? The plaintiff lead attorney Devin Friedman asked. No, he never did, Young replied. During his testimony, Young produced a 2018 contract with DynCorp. It included a clause indicating that he would be terminated without severance if he participated in a black market in his host country. It's hard to explain to someone outside my world how devastating it is to be accused of operating in a black market, Young testified. It's devastating when you're labeled a criminal all over the world. On CNN! Lots of reach, right? Tapper, I didn't even know her. Oh! I saw it, AD. Before the proceedings began, Judge William Henry told the jury that Young did not act illegally or criminally and did not take money from Afghans. Young said that the CNN report took a toll on his family, particularly his disabled 75-year-old mother, whom he financially supports. Jurors were shown photos of her, and some smiled at the picture of Young and his German Shepherd. During Monday's selection process, only one of the roughly 40 prospective jurors admitted to regularly watching the network. Only 2 said they knew who Tapper was. Oh, no.
Congratulations. You played yourself.
This is CNN. That means nobody watches CNN anymore. They didn't know who Jake Tapper was. Oh, my God. The November 2021 segment on The Lead-In with Jake Tapper centered on private contractors using an illegal black market and charging exorbitant fees to evacuate people from Afghanistan as the Taliban regained control during the Biden-Harris administration's chaotic 2021 withdrawal. The segment singled out Young, who was given only 2 hours to respond when CNN national security correspondent Alex Marquardt reached out for comment. This is typical. They'll write a smear article on you. It's called the, what's her name? Taylor Lorenz School of Journalism. Write a smear article, okay? And the article's going to come out at 5 o'clock, and you call somebody, or you not even call them. You leave them a direct message on X. Okay, you leave a direct message on X at 3 o'clock saying, well, we got this story about you, and it's going to be how you're this terrible shitbag of a person, and we would like to hear your side of the story. We have a 5 o'clock deadline because the article's coming out at 5:01, and you might not even see the damn thing by then. So, CNN felt they had a sensational story they would give that would drive ratings, and they didn't care about the truth. An attorney for Young, Kyle Roche, said during his opening statement Tuesday, CNN chose theater over truth and destroyed the life of an American patriot. He said Young helped 22 women evacuate Afghanistan on behalf of Audible and Bloomberg LP. The facts didn't matter, Roche said. He noted that CNN's editors admitted in internal messages that the segment was full of holes like Swiss cheese and 80% emotion and 20% obscured fact. Lead CNN attorney David Axelrod's a CNN attorney? That David Axelrod? David Axelrod? Seriously? Lead CNN attorney David Axelrod, during his opening statement, called CNN's reporting, quote, tough and fair and accurate, and argued that it never implied Young did anything criminal. They named him. They're talking about black markets and named him in particular. There is no there, Axelrod said. Well, there you go. That's, see? The phrase, there is no there. Is that the most Clinton shit you could have ever said? There's no evidence in this case that there was anything sensational about this story. Really? A black market overcharging people to get out of Afghanistan? There's nothing sensational about that? Give me a fucking break. He also admitted that President Biden's withdrawal from Afghanistan was a disaster. I served at a very important job that the U.S. government wasn't able to do, Young said during his testimony. So, wow. That's amazing. All right, moving on. What else do I got? I got a few left and we're going to get out of here. The Trump effect. Job openings climbed to a 6-month high. Well, is that a Trump effect? Maybe. U.S. employers posted 8.1 million job openings in November, the highest level in 6 months, according to government data released on Tuesday. The sharp increase, which exceeded even the most optimistic expectations of economists surveyed by Econoday, points to a labor market that appears to be gathering strength as business responds to the more pro-growth economic policies expected under the incoming Trump administration. The median expectation was for 7.65 million job openings at the top of the range, and the top of the range was 7.8 million. Well, they said because of the pro-growth economic policies expected under the incoming Trump administration, so they're opening up their books. The latest Bureau of Labor Statistics job openings and labor turnover survey showed a rise from a revised 7.8 million in October. The increase was driven by a jump in posting within professional and business services, as well as the finance and insurance sectors. In contrast, sectors like accommodations, food services, and manufacturing saw a reduction in available positions, highlighting lingering disparities in demand across different parts of the economy and weakness in the factor sector, whatever that means. So anyway, that's interesting. Daily Wire. Oh, another. This is another one of these things. So exclusive. Green energy investor arrested in securities fraud probe. Ibrahim Al-Husseini, a left-wing venture capitalist who invests in climate-restoring technologies and donated more than $300,000 to Democrats, has been arrested on suspicion of securities fraud. According to allegations in a civil and criminal court papers, he swindled investors in a deal involving $150 million in stocks in Aspiration, a progressive banking app and carbon credits company with the tagline, "Clean rich is the new filthy rich." Oh, isn't that cute? And which has faced probes from the government and others for alleged greenwashing. Investors say they lost $150 million due to the fraud, while Al-Husseini transferred $300 million to Saudi Arabia to avoid his debts. Al-Husseini was raised in Saudi Arabia by Palestinian parents and says he has raised $500 million in capital, largely for green energy firms, leads the investment firm Full Cycle, and was a board member of Code Pink, which takes out the U.S. Capitol to harass lawmakers who support Israel and which calls Gaza a war in the U.S.-Israeli Holocaust. Okay. He was arrested on October 7th and jailed until December 21st when federal prosecutors agreed to release him on a $3 million bail put up by a who's who of wealthy liberal activists and environmentalists, including Code Pink's founder, Jody Evans. Wow. This is crazy. Al-Husseini, whom the government deemed flight risk, was also required to surrender his Saudi and American passports, turn in his guns, and wear a GPS monitor. I wonder if he'll fly. He'll fly the coop. He'll find a way. So there's more in the article, but you can read the rest yourself. Another Daily Caller. Gabbert's team accuses Senate Democrats of playing politics by blocking confirmation meetings. This is no surprise. Senate Democrats, spearheaded by Democratic Virginia Senator Mark Warner, are delaying Tulsi Gabbard's confirmation hearing scheduled for mid-January. According to an Axios report, Gabbard is President-elect Donald Trump's nominee for Director of National Intelligence. Warner, who is Vice Chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, claimed the committee has not received Gabbard's ethics disclosure, pre-hearing questionnaire, or FBI background check. Now, that's according to someone who told that to Axios. But didn't he just said he interviewed her. However, Gabbard's military clearance means the background check process is fast-tracked, and she has met all the required deadlines, a source familiar with the told the Daily Caller. The source also alleged that Warner prevented other Democrats on the committee from meeting with Gabbard, and his office allegedly took over a month to reply to an email from Gabbard's team that was sent in November. I hope to meet Gabbard, New York Democratic Senator Kirsten Gillibrand told the National Review's Audrey Fahlberg. I think we will wait until after the chairman meets with her. Okay. Warner is scheduled to meet Tuesday with Gabbard. Oh, so he did meet with her. He met with her yesterday. Some Senate Democrats have expressed openness to confirming her, including Pennsylvania Democratic Senator John Fetterman, who met with Gabbard in December. So they're going to try to fuck with Trump's nominees, but I don't know if it's going to work. I just don't. There's more in the article, but we'll move on. PJ Media. This is an editorial that I kind of agree with sometimes. If Elon Musk wants to be a leader, he's got to stop being a whiny little baby. So if you've seen the hubbub when he started talking about H-1B visas and people were kind of arguing back with him, and suddenly some people were getting kind of getting throttled on X and losing certain statuses and stuff. And it's like, wait, Elon, Mr. Free Speech, which, I agree with you in principle, but if you don't practice it, then you're not preaching it. So anyway, here's someone says, I can't prove it, but I'm sure dyslexic dudes named Ned are statistically more likely to self-harm when they drive by a dead end sign every day. Subliminal advertising, So if your name is Ned, buy your next home carefully. Actually, it's more a myth than fact. Despite its popularity as a pop culture concept, most studies on subliminal advertising are underwhelming. It doesn't seem to ring registers or increase sales, yet we stubbornly believe in it. That's because the concept makes sense, even if the actual stats don't reflect it. We know how we make decisions. It's not always cut and dry, but the hodgepodge mix of facts, emotions, impulses, and desires. Sometimes our emotions matter most. Other times we're highly analytical. We're not always sure why the heck we make certain decisions. It's as much a mystery to us as it is everyone else. But that's not a telltale sign of subliminal influence. Instead, it's how our brains absorb and interpret data. It's never just one thing. Everything matters. Our brains run on electrical currents, and electricity moves extremely fast. More often than not, we'll make a decision lightning quick and then justify it later with facts. Well, of course, I had to buy that car. It has great safety features, very reasonable price too. In today's economy, I couldn't afford not to buy it. But truthfully, you just thought the car was sweet as fuck when you first laid eyes on it. There are all kinds of political and or marketing theories on how to capture hearts and minds. In the old days, when Amazon, Google, Facebook, and Netflix didn't exist, we elders call it the before time. There used to be these wacky things called bookstores. Each town had several of them, and in these bookstores, there used to be an entire section dedicated to business and marketing books. Each book told you something different. Some told you to be a purple cow and stand out. Others preached the virtues of conformity. They all had a different shtick. And depending on the context, each one truly legitimately offered amazing advice. That's because life is messy and chaotic. One size does not fit all. Whether there are even the slightest changes to either the message, the medium, the audience, the messenger, or the environment, the end result will look dramatically different. Depending on the situation, each of these books was exactly right. It's the PR version of the three-body problem, only with way more than three variables. And this brings us to Elon Musk. Super genius, super patriotic, super rich. Not to mention, super sensitive. He is. Since embarking on his MAGA-friendly ideology journey, Mr. Musk has been a net positive and overwhelmingly so. Indeed, you could make an excellent argument that without his deep pockets, political courage, and personal sacrifice, Trump would have never been elected. Without X leading the charge for free speech, Kamala Harris would probably be our next president. Under the 2020 rules, Trump's YouTube uploads of the Joe Rogan Experience would have been censored for challenging the COVID orthodoxy and questioning the results of the 2020 election. Instead, it was viewed 50 million times. And that's just one example. Now, if Mr. Musk was willing to limit his influence on X to supporting free speech, expressing his personal opinions, and returning fire against his critics, I have no complaint. I still wouldn't advise him to hurl F-bombs at conservatives or during immigration debates, but if that's how he feels, so be it. That's very different than Musk putting his fingers on the scales by demonetizing his critics' accounts, revoking their blue verification badge, freezing their features, and suspending journalists from posting. I'm glad Elon Musk isn't a pro-left censor. It's refreshing, but that doesn't mean I want him to be a pro-right censor either. Those shouldn't be our only options. I want him to be the free speech absolutist he always claimed to be. A journalist by the name of Jacqueline Sweet just had her X account suspended after writing an article for UK magazine about a man named Adrian Dittman. There was speculation that Adrian Dittman might not actually exist. Rather, he could be a burner account of Elon Musk. For those of you old enough to remember the Reagan administration, a burner account is a secondary social media account untied to your main one. Dittman apparently agreed with Musk an awful lot on X and had a similar writing style. Outing Musk as being so insecure that he created a backup X account to agree with himself to salve his own ego would have been embarrassing, although amongst celebrities it happens more than you might think. It's certainly understandable why Musk would find the speculation annoying. But if you're going to be fair, a fair, responsible custodian of a free speech haven like X, you can't ban accounts for being annoying. Turns out Adrian Dittman lives in Fiji. He's a real human being, big fan of Elon Musk, and his real name is Adrian Dittman. At first, Musk handled the so-called controversy actually right. He said, "I am Adrian Dittman. It's time the world knew." But then he had journalist Jacqueline Sweet suspended from X for doxing. It's absurd. When Adrian Dittman has an X account under the name Adrian Dittman, there is no doxing. In 2020, all the leading social media platforms, including Twitter, X, censored a slew of important news stories, botched pronouns, COVID talk, Hunter Biden laptop, certain jokes, and election questioning could get your account suspended. That's not the road we want to go down again. Very clearly, Elon Musk is a man with many, many strong held beliefs. He's right about an awful lot of them. X is a wonderful platform for expressing his beliefs. But he must also be a man of principles. Free speech is a principle that needs to be protected, even when journalists use their speech in ways you dislike. When you begin cherry-picking the application of the rules, tilting the playground, and punishing your enemies, you lose the moral high ground. It costs you hearts and minds down the road, and that's too valuable to squander, even for the world's richest man. That article by Scott Pinsker, who is a public relations, branding, and crisis communications expert in Tampa Bay, Florida. So there you go. Great article. I don't know I read the whole thing, but it got interesting. And it took me a while to figure out what the hell was going on at the beginning of it. So it all all went full circle. So that's a good article. I like that. Finally, now there's a fear-mongering campaign against eggs. First they came for unpasteurized dairy, and then they came for our meat. Now they're coming for the greatest culinary bounty on earth, God's green earth. What to know about eating eggs as bird flu spreads, writes Axios on Tuesday night. How about nothing? How about stop talking? This stunning piece is the latest example of the thinly veiled fear-mongering that became the norm in the COVID era. Sure, there's a new bird flu circulating, and the first person died this week. Who knows if it has something to do with an airborne strain with 20 to 50% mortality rate that exists thanks to the mad experiments of our scientific establishment. Yet I don't want to hear about it. I will die 1,000 deaths before I even consider giving up my 6-egg breakfast sandwich each morning. That's how I feel, too. I eat a lot of eggs. Now, basically right now, the left is trying to fearmonger about everything that people even suggest. Like raw milk. I'm not going to drink raw milk because I just think the whole concept is kind of gross because, it doesn't seem right to me. But some people drink the raw milk, and if they drink the raw milk and they get sick or they get something, that's their problem. But fuck it. Let them drink the raw milk and stop bitching about them. But I don't want to hear you complaining and telling me everything's bad for me because everything's bad for you and everything's good for you, and it changes from day to day. In fact, it changes from hour to hour. Sometimes coffee's good for you because the caffeine has an antioxidant property, but then it causes your high blood pressure and hypertension. But then it also has some antioxidants and some of the other properties that make you stop having the flu and maybe hold off other colds, except for this bug that I got in my stomach this week. But then sometimes coffee's extra good for you because you need more fluids, and sometimes the caffeine doesn't, extract the fluids as much as you thought it did, even though they used to tell you it did. And then eggs had so much cholesterol, but now the eggs are really good for you, but then they're bad for you. I don't care anymore. I'm just not going to eat processed foods anymore because there's a lot of gross stuff in there, and I'm just trying to get a little more healthy. But just who cares? Stop bitching about our food and try to scare us about everything. And that's it. That's the rant. Okay. I don't have anything open. Let me you know what? What time is it? 12. You know what? What the hell? I'm going to check one more thing. Just one more thing. I want to see what the latest is. If there's any breaking news, and then we're going to get out of here. Okay. By the way, thank you to the people who have finally decided to share the show. I got some more Let's Go's. Here we go. I was wondering. Here's one. Thank you. Joe Zero. Which I think is JB. Who is Joe Zero? Are you in the chat, Joe Zero? I like the Let's Go. Thank you. Then we got here, JB. No, JB is not Joe Zero. That's a different person. Joe Zero, are you still here? There we go. There's a Let's Go. I like that one. That one's pretty funny, actually. And let's see. People who also, Somnambule Nation dropped the show today on X an hour ago. I see you're here finally. And who else? Thank you, Somnambule Nation, Swamp Fox Ghost, Cab Dog, Ty Alexander, Diane Rose, and Reaction Puerto Rico. Oh, that's you? Are you you're Joe Zero? Okay, cool, Select Boy. Thank you. And of course, Somnambule Nation. And someone here said, okay, that's something else. That's nothing to do with anything. So anyway, I was going to check if there's any new, like, up to date breaking news. I got a lot of things to close here. Holy shit! What happened there? Let's get rid of that. Let's see. Let's see. All right, let's check. Just check the most recent post here on X. See if there's anything that is new. It seems a discussion is in order of the Lake and Highway Act that I happily voted for against the House on the House floor today. It is a bill that served no purpose than to stir up anger, but let's quickly review why. Oh, okay. This is Sean Casten, U.S. Representative from Illinois 6, is going to talk about why he voted against the Laken Riley Act. And he used Grok to ask about what specific concerns about civil liberties. Well, first of all, if you're in the country illegally, are the civil liberties the same? Because we should have deported you in the first place. So I'm going to start there. But I know I'm poisoning the well here. Let's see what he says here. First, undocumented people in the U.S. who are convicted of felonies are already subject to deportation. If that is your concern, you should be happy with the existing law as I am. Okay, not a bad point. Second, the majority of undocumented folks in the United States are visa overstays and farm workers. Many are in mixed families and they have very low propensity to commit crime. Well, then they're not affected. The stereotype is not representative of the population at hand. Right. And we're not talking about them, are we, Sean? Third, today's bill would have made it deportable not to be convicted of a felony, but simply to have been charged with a felony. That completely eliminates due process. The worst puts vulnerable people in even more tenuous circumstances. I'm curious about that. Okay. Because I think, I'm going to have to look at the act then. 4, suppose, for example, that you came to the U.S. on a student visa and had a child with a U.S. national who you then had a falling out with. If you overstay your visa, should you be deportable simply because your ex accused you of a crime? No. We should be concerned about your overstayed visa. Moreover, there are large numbers of undocumented people in America who have disclosed that status to the authorities and are allowed to stay here as long as they don't get into trouble, specifically DACA recipients and those under temporary protected status. Why are there undocumented people in America who have disclosed that they have criminal records to authorities? I don't know why. If those folks are convicted of a felony, they are already subject to deportation. But under today's bill, they have to do is someone misidentify them in a police lineup, get charged, and they are out for doing nothing wrong other than trusting us to keep our word. Now maybe I'm reading the bill wrong. I thought it would keep them in custody until their trial, but maybe not. To be fair, this will not be the last gotcha vote from the GOP this term. The purpose of this bill wasn't to make us safer. It was to give a soundbite that allows people to say, Congressperson X voted today to keep murdering, raping illegal immigrants in our country. Well, you kind of did. I, for one, think due process matters, that existing laws need not be duplicated, that we are, as Reagan said, a shining city on the hill that succeeds when the best and brightest can come inside, that legislating is more important than scoring political sound bites. And to my colleagues who would rather just do the performative sound bites, I leave you this. Okay, he's giving you a homie, don't play that. That's whatever. Postscript pro tip: if something on the internet makes you mad and says a bunch of members of Congress just voted for a bill that is described in a single sentence and sounds bad, it's probably an oversimplification. Do some independent research before wasting your anger. Well, Sean, I hope that you can have everyone in Congress take that advice, because I've seen a lot of people talking about how, Republicans voted against this, and it was one clause in a 1,500-page omnibus bill. But you pick out the one thing that you like and say, they voted against babies getting formula in a 1,500-page omnibus bill. Oh, the Republicans voted against keeping moms with their children. What? So anyway, posting cartoons when this woman was murdered by a person that should not have been here is not what I expect from my elected leader. I expect you to take this very seriously, not just as an elected representative, but as a human being. Tell their families that. That's what they're saying. So, interesting. We already have an existing law that covers that. If the law covers that works so well, why didn't it work? That's another question. So anyway, you know what? This thread's staying in the links today, just in case you'd like to reply to Sean So there we go. We'll do that. That's new. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, Lord. Joe Walsh complaining about Donald Trump. Don't care. Eric Swalwell. Guys, it's so obvious. Trump has no idea how to lower your cost of groceries, so he's going to distract you by sending your kids to die fighting in Canada. Oh, dude is so stupid. Okay, let's see what else. Oh, this person's upset because some women voted for Trump. To all the women in the U.S. who sold out your own sisters now and for future generations, here's a little finger for you. Isn't that cute? Why is everyone not in California or not a firefighter, an expert on the Cali fires? I'm not an expert on Cali fires. Nobody is. But there you go. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be. Oh, here's another one. Breaking. DOJ just stated they will release special counsel Jack Smith's findings. We already got that. I'm already got most of this news. Oh, Liz Cheney. No, this is from January 7th. This is from yesterday. What does Liz Cheney have to say? While Donald Trump and Barry Loudermilk continue to spread malicious lies about the January 6th committee, she doesn't like the fact they caught her. Trump is trying to get hide evidence to suppress the truth. The Justice Department has obtained testimony and evidence from dozens of Trump's former advisors. Vice President Pence showing the danger of Trump poses. Now Trump is already doing what despots do. He's trying to conceal the truth and threaten jail to those who investigated it. The congressional report yesterday destroyed Loudermilk's fraudulent allegations. What shows the despicable malice behind Trump's efforts? A.G. Garland now has a duty to release the Justice Department report and prevent its evidence from being destroyed. Oh, you mean like you destroyed the January 6th committee evidence? Holy shit. God, the hypocrisy is amazing. The truth must prevail. The framers of our Constitution knew the lessons of history that people led by men without character can quickly lose their freedoms. Liz fucking Cheney, ladies and gentlemen. I can't do it, guys. It's that time. I'm gonna, you know what? I am gonna leave her tweet in the front of the links today, just for your viewing pleasure. And that's it for today, guys. I probably should go try and eat something. We'll see what happens. But thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. What the hell happened there? Oh, there we go. Wait, what the fuck? What happened? What? The hell happened there? Where is my... Oh, one tab failed today. Something's wrong with one tab. Okay, well, I might have to fix that. There will be no links today. I apologize. That is really weird. Oh, wait, is this it? Well, we'll see if it pops up. Anyway, guys, oh, there it is. All right, we're all good. All right, I was a little nervous because for some reason this was not working. All right, guys, here's the links for today. Sorry about that. Here are today's links. And I will have them in the description too, as always. I hope you all have a great day. Thank you. Gotta go. My name is P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.